Good evening, world, and welcome to the Barbecue Network. Hope that everyone's having a wonderful evening, and got just my voice here for right now. May turn on the lights and get everything organized in a couple minutes to go on camera a little bit more. But this is watching and listening to the live stream by Robert Meyer Burnett, and I didn't really know that he had gotten into all this, and I'm really excited about it because we had a lot of mutual friends, and it's great to be kind of doing the same thing that he's trying to do at the same time. Obviously, he's got a big situation he's on with the John Campea show, and he's a famous person in his own right, so he's got his own kind of following going on. So I'm glad to see that going on, and I'm really glad to have David Cabrera from the Robert Meyer Burnett stream come join my stream as a subscriber, and he'll be visiting in Las Vegas later in the year. So I'll go ahead and see what I can do to help him out on his visit because having lived in Las Vegas and knowing everyone basically in the town, it's pretty easy to arrange things for people to have a good time there in Las Vegas. Just having some cream soda and enjoying the evening. Hope everyone else is as well. Just a beautiful day. And we're getting towards a great time of the year here in the South. Having never lived in the southern United States before, I find this area to be quite beautiful, and happy to be participating with everyone here tonight. It was a really big day for the movies. I'm going to go back and check over what Robert Meyer Burnett and John Campea experienced at the Universal and Disney presentations. Very much looking forward to that, and just really excited to see Robert doing what he's doing. I mean, it was a great joy for me in life to see my friend John Schnepp, start being on television and the media as far as he did get, as I was working alongside him and in my world and in TV and everything that I did. To see him grow on the online world and along comic book fans and movie fans was really one of the great honors and privileges of my life. So now seeing someone else who knew this great man now participate and do more online and more research and talk about comic books and talk about movies and all the stuff that we're all into. It's great, I mean, honestly, my knowledge of some certain characters of comic books is extremely, extremely good, but not others. So it's good to be, involved like that. Hey, what's up, man? So sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna get more of a presentation going here. Glad that you're joining the chat. I'm just kind of charging my phone and getting things ready to talk. And I figured, yeah, since Robert's great and everything like that, and I think he made me moderator or something of the chat. I'm not too sure what, but I'd be more than happy to do that. What an honor and a privilege. Oh, and my dog come and join me. All right. we're back. A little cold here here in Arkansas, and glad to have you here on the chat, David Cabrera. So got two people here. Oh, we got Jesse on the line. Hey, let's see. RMV is great. So yeah, Jesse, we just finished the Area 51 bar snack bar. Area 51 snack bar. God, what is that? Anyway, but David Cabrera was in the chat room for this guy Robert Meyer Burnett. Now, I'll tell you the story, Jesse, or anyone else out there. I met our mutual friend John Schnepp, who passed away last year. Robert Meyer Burnett is a what was it? He is a director. He directed a movie about Star Trek, I think. I'm not into Star Trek, so I don't know. But he's made a lot of special features for DVDs and Blu-rays. He made a Tron documentary. Unfortunately, I gotta plug this in. It sucks. Oh, where's that at? He made a Tron documentary, and he made a Sonic Disruptor. That's pretty awesome. I gotta look up what that is. That's the one thing when I'm doing these, I can't like go Google stuff. It's a little bit difficult to do. But anyway, yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett is a really sharp person. He's making a couple movies right now, and he's on something called the John Campea Show, which basically has a pretty big following. It's John Campea was part of the AMC Movie Talk and Collider Movie Talk, and he had kind of a fractious relationship with them, and then started his own thing and hired Robert Meyer Burnett. The reason he hired Robert Meyer Burnett is because of John Schnepp. He had worked with John Schnepp. And I think John stayed on at Collider after Campea had departed. I'm not positive about that. I kind of lost track of things at that point. Kind of left the world of movie news and reporting information at that point, so I didn't really follow it as closely. But I've started following it quite closely again, just trying to learn a little bit more about some of the movies and the different things. Obviously, I years ago was one of the first person to report a lot of stories that ended up being out there in the news. You know, the Han Solo story, the movie, this and that. All the Sega and Nintendo branding, how they were trying to brand themselves all at Paramount, but Paramount was too cheap. Okay, yeah, so John Campea left Collider, Schnepp stayed, and then Schnepp sadly passed away in July of 2018. He stayed for just over a year then. So anyway, yeah. Very ironic. They're both in, John and Robert Meyer Burnett are both in Las Vegas right now for this convention. And obviously 9 months ago, John Schnepp, had the stroke or the symptoms from the, of course. John Roca produced the weekly Heroes show, and Mr. John Schnepp himself would host it. And now you got Coy Jandreau and that woman, I can't remember her name at this point, but she was also inspired by John Schnepp. So in the background, I have some movies that I've been obsessively watching for the last day. I just kind of put them on because now I don't have to really think about too much. It does a lot of the thinking and trickery for me. And that's FX Part 1 and FX Part 2. I find them to be entertaining movies. Again, there's been a lot of really good YouTube videos and things I've been watching the last couple days. So it's a really big time of the year for movies. It's a really big time of the year for news and all the things that I'm interested in. So you guys can go ahead and post any questions or comments in the chat. We're going forward with a movie news discussion and things like that. I'm going to be doing a Hey, righteous. Ah, that's cool. I'm gonna be going forward with a radio. I'm gonna be on some radio show in the LA area the next couple weeks. So I'll have 2 appearances on it. Probably gonna promote the YouTube channel a little bit more. Um, because when I used to go on all these TV shows, these radio shows and stuff, they did a lot of the promotion for the things. All I would do is just basically, turn the buttons on, or not even turn any buttons on, just sit where they told me to do and be a guest on their shows. Sort of similar to John Schnepp and similar to all these other individuals that are basically talking heads. I was a hired talking head on a variety of news and radio and television shows for the majority of my life. I still am. So, you know, it's kind of what am I trying to say? It's hard to organically promote the barbecue network and building a new brand and everything like that. When basically I'd been working for, freelance, but working for ABC, NBC, all these blowtorch networks that don't even have to promote their materials. They just broadcast, and people know like zombies to tune into their stupid ass programming, right? So it's a totally different dynamic. So I don't really care about the growth of it or anything like that. I'm just going to, point out the growth as it occurs. Today we grew by 1 subscriber, Mr. Cabrera. Happy to have him on board. I did have some people tuning in to the live stream yesterday. I hope to have everyone that ever tunes in either like and subscribe or, participate in some way. I don't even care if they like or subscribe as long as they participate. They seemingly enjoy or get some information out of it, because I do have content information. I mean, sometimes when I'm talking about what I know or my experiences in Hollywood or my experiences in the world at large, I start asking myself, is it really me that did these experiences? Because I've kind of had like a little bit of a Forrest Gump type journey through modern history. To be honest, I mean, uh, so I've been born in 1981. I've seen and done quite a lot, especially in the world of movies, entertainment, and sports. Moved around circles that are far beyond my pay grade and stuff like that. So when I see about John Schnepp and his friend Robert Meyer Burnett now doing a show, it's really awesome. It really is. I mean, I never met Robert through John, but I knew John. I knew John really well. I met John in 1998. I was 17, and I don't know what he was. He looked like he was maybe 30 already at the time, but doing the math, he was more like maybe 26 or 27. 28? I'm trying to think. In 98, what would he have been? He was like 13 or 14 when Ferris Bueller's came out. 15, more like 15. He was some unknown age, and he was, I mean, I could speak a little uncouthly. He was, having relations with a friend of mine. I don't even call it. He was girlfriend. We were just at this party and going out with this girl for maybe a couple of days or whatever. And I knew her friend, and I don't even think you would call. God, what was her name? Oh, we got our big visitor. We got our big visitor. Big visitor, Bubba, come up on the couch. Yeah, just like Robert Meyer Burnett has a cat that comes and visits, and you can hear his dog. You're gonna hear a dog and see a dog here. You got a big head on this big old dog. Yeah, it's kind of dark in here. I don't think we should go outside at this time of day or night. No, I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good idea. I just don't think so. I just don't think that would be a good idea if you go outside this time of day. So that's my dog. Of course, people have probably seen this dog on all my videos. This is off topic, but am I gonna watch Quentin's 9th film? Yes, indeed. And I lived on Hollywood Boulevard before I moved out here, and saw them filming it. Early July. And Robert the guy whose podcast or whoever's show I'm talking about, he has photos, and also he's talked to me offline. He's got a poster from the set of the movie, because I don't know what was going on. I guess they didn't shut down the block properly, but people ended up taking or getting some of the props or posters from the set. Because Hollywood's a really bad area. I don't think people really know that so much, but and Sony's kind of I don't know. If you look at the tax credit that Sony paid out to or Sony received from the making, Sony receives tax credit. Yeah, Sony paid a lot of money to make the movie. Their tax credit that they got back was only 15 million. So usually you get a 20 or 15 or 20% tax break back. So they put their money into getting these stars, is basically what I'm trying to say, and the security and the different things in the Hollywood area. They kind of wanted to be loose. They kind of wanted it to be um, an uncontrolled kind of how things were freewheeling in the 60s and 70s in Hollywood. So I mean, it's definitely interested in seeing that when I was, live in Hollywood or would walk around and see, the modern depravity of the city. I would think back to those years of the 50s, 60s, and 70s in Hollywood, as Hollywood was starting to fall apart. It was still a really nice area, but starting to fall apart. Um, I would, want to know and see more about that area. So I'm interested to see the movie very much. Um, we were talking the other day about Quentin Tarantino's movies. True Romance, the one that he wrote. He's got some of his best writing in that movie. He does this whole speech for Dennis Hopper about how basically everyone has African or African American blood in them. He tells the Christopher Walken character that. It's one of the best speeches in the history of movies, not even that Tarantino wrote. And then also there's a movie I'd like to recommend, in the spirit of talking about his movies. It is his 8th film. I mean, I can't even do the math really, but like he made a segment of Four Rooms. I don't know if you guys, David and Jesse, I don't know if you guys have seen Four Rooms, but it was a big deal in the mid 90s. It was a combined movie. He directed a segment, and then 3 other directors directed a segment. I believe he directed the one, it may have had Madonna in it and Bruce Willis. So anyway, yeah, check that out sometime. Because yeah, you're totally right. I think it's his 8th movie. There you go. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill. Does that count as one movie? The what do you call it? What do you call that thing that he makes in the car one? Death Proof. Madonna is in one segment. Yeah, I don't remember which segment. I think she probably wasn't in the. She's in the vampire segment, I think. But yeah, I mean, whether if it's am I gonna watch his 9th film? Okay, yeah, I didn't even know that it's that number there. Yeah, Quentin's 9th film. I would watch it. Very much looking forward to it. Now we'll have to see how the exhibition business is at that point, if we're allowed to see it, or I'll have to find a stream for the movie, as I end up watching all these movies on, streaming and stuff like that. But very much looking forward to the movie. I lived in Laurel Canyon. I lived in the area where Sharon Tate was killed. I'm more knowledgeable about the Wonderland murders because I lived on Wonderland, and took care of a group of, you know, just had a lot of responsibility in the Wonderland area. Kind of leave it at that. And that's in Hollywood, and very dank, very rich, not necessarily moneyed, but like rich tradition of the counterculture movement, and also just the extremes of Hollywood. So obviously that's where the Wonderland murders occurred, and the Sharon Tate murder. Very interested to see her portrayed. I'm a really big fan of Sharon Tate. I mean, she was a very good actress. She was a very talented on-screen performer. who was taken away from us. So I'm thinking that the movie is going to show Charles Manson getting killed, and that she goes on and lives and has possibly the best career that anyone could have had in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I really do feel that that was a potential that Sharon Tate had. Um, she was up for a lot of big roles at the time when she was killed. There was a lot of like petty jealousy among this cult and her situation and all that, because Manson was liked, very well liked by all sorts of members of different rock groups, the Beach Boys. I mean, you name it. He was invited to parties by the dozen. Some of the stuff that's in Inherent Vice is similar cultish type activity or countercultural stuff that's being referred to. Um, Taking off 2 a.m. here. Directed another. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, David. I really appreciate that you even, here you are staying up till 2 in the morning. Having just met you there on the live stream for Robert Meyer Burnett. I'm gonna be participating a lot more with Robert Meyer Burnett. I've been, emailing him back and forth a little bit, and after my friend passed away, I didn't really want to um, get in touch. Farewell. Does that mean you're out too? I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could be more entertaining. But farewell, yeah, David, and perhaps hopefully everyone else can stay on. But yeah, man, just having a great thing here. Got my big furry friend here. Let me get a good shot of her on camera. Oh yeah, farewell, David. Haha, perfect. All right, let me get my camera. Let's get a good shot of my dog here. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let's see. Geez, sorry. Hey, Curly, say hi. Are you gonna go to the movies? Easel Kill Ya. I haven't seen Easel Kill Ya. What is that? I have to look that up. This is Curly. And let me put the phone back on the charger again. Very difficult to do this stuff. Yeah, really glad I've started the live. It's a show from Tales of the Crypt. Oh, it's an episode. Yeah, Tim Roth. Damn, I gotta look that up as soon as I can. I'm a huge Tim Roth supporter. I thought I'd seen almost everything he'd made, to be honest. I've even seen a movie he made called Youth Without Youth, Francis Ford Coppola movie from maybe 10 years back now. A real flop. The last two Francis Ford Coppola movies I enjoyed watching, but they haven't gone over too well. Mr. Coppola. All right, the ending is hilarious. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Tales from the Crypt. In fact, I met the guy that's the Crypt Keeper. The one that does the voice and the not animation, but puppeteering, I guess, puppetry for Tales of the Crypt. The demon looking dude. And I'm a huge fan of the two movies, the Tales from the Crypt movies. There's one called Demon Knight. I'm sure you might have seen. That one starred Jada Pinkett and Billy Zane. Basically, a demon is just trying to invade a house, very much like Night of the Living Dead, but done in the style of great Tales from the Crypt episode. I really, as you're saying, I sure would like to see that and also see the ending, because that's one thing I like quite a lot about Tales from the Crypt is its dark humor. Outright scary in several episodes. I could refer you to a channel as a friend of mine. I think OCP Communications. I think he reviews every episode. I think he has reviewed every episode of Tales from the Crypt. To correct myself, I don't know if he has that particular one, but if he's got every one, I would think that he might have that one on there. Make sure I can remember the title too that you sent. It's a show from Tales from the Crypt. Have you seen Easel Kill Ya? Damn, that's so cool. It's got Tim Roth in it. Makes me wish I had like a alternate computer. I could just pull it up. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of these different people's live streams. Sometimes when they're doing a live stream, they'll pull up different stuff and everything like that. And I, uh, I definitely can't manage all that at this point. It's free on YouTube. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ideally, I would just pull it up right now. Favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes. I'll have to rack my brain and think about it because I'd love to recommend some to you too. The other Tales from the Crypt movie is Bordello of Blood, and that one's a really fun one. I think Dennis Miller is in that, and Erica Eleniak. Might as well restart these movies again. I really do enjoy them. I should pop them off though and put something else on that's like a little bit more interesting. Let me just do that real quick. Because I've seriously watched FX1 and FX2 like 3 or 4 times recently. I don't mind it, but put something else on wouldn't be bad. Need to always have something on. Stimulation of some kind. Oh gosh. Oh, I got one. So in the video description, I said that I was going to. What did I say I was going to do? I was going to review 2 movies. The 2 movies were Demolition Man, and for whatever reason, the other movie slipped my mind, but it's called Sea of Love, and that's an Al Pacino movie. And I'll go ahead and add a 3rd movie onto the list. Hopefully, I can put it in the description, or I'll just change the title of the video to reflect that I'm doing a 3rd review, because I was a huge fan of the Siskel and Ebert show. I like to have a variety of different movies. Now, obviously, these movies came out at a different time period. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm arguing with someone else like Siskel and Ebert. But I will go over some of the points and some of the information from each movie and some of my opinions. I'm friends with the Demolition Man. Is that the director? Is that the one with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester? Exactly. 1993. And earlier today, I reviewed Cliffhanger, which was Sylvester Stallone's other movie he made in 1993. And that starred John Lithgow and Sylvester Stallone. And the interesting thing about that movie, what's really interesting and cool is I know all 4 directors of these movies I'm talking about tonight. That's why I'm going to try to objectively review them as much as possible. And I know they're not going to watch these videos or anything too, or if they do, I won't say anything disrespectful to their work. But yeah, I mean, I met Rennie Harlin. He's the Finnish film director that made Die Hard 2 and made all scores of movies, but he made Cliffhanger. So I reviewed that one earlier today. The Demolition Man is directed by music video director Marco Bombia. I met him. Geez, I didn't know that he was the freaking director of Demolition Man. It was at a party in 99 or 2000, and people were going up to him and talking to him like, "Oh, why aren't you directing movies anymore? Why aren't you directing?" I thought it was just some kind of joke, because everyone around me, wasn't directing movies. And it turns out, he made Demolition Man, and then he made a movie with Alicia Silverstone and Benicio del Toro. Almost sounds made up, like that cast, but it was called Excessive Baggage or Excess Baggage. And somehow Siskel and Ebert liked the movie, but it was really one of the worst movies ever made. Like, from everything that went well in Demolition Man, I know, from talking to him now, why he made Excess Baggage. He wanted to do something that was the complete polar opposite, more of a romantic comedy, I guess, or misappropriation type movie about a misanthropic hitman that's supposed to, I think, gonna kill the girl or whatever, and then they fall in love. I think it's pretty dark, or kidnap her or something. nothing about the movie worked with me. Christopher Walken was in that film though. Not a bad performance by him, if I recall. So anyway, that's Marco Brambilla, the director of Demolition Man. So we'll discuss a little bit about Demolition Man. The second movie is Sea of Love, and the director of that's like about 91 years old at this point. Last talked to him, I think, is before his last birthday. Only been knowing him since he's about 88. So it's kind of a trip, man. I just basically saw some of his movies and thought that he was really interesting. And I had some mutual people that I knew that knew him. So I figured it wouldn't be just so out of the blue to give him a call because I'd seen so many of his commentaries. I mean, the man is awesome. He's made a variety of different thrillers. He made a movie called Vision Quest that starred Matthew Modine, the guy from Stranger Things, back when he was really young. And the woman in that is just beautiful, Linda Fiorentino. She was in Men in Black 2, and she's a lot older. But in the 80s, she was basically like the hottest chick in the world, and still is possibly. Maybe not right this second. It's 2018. She's probably 60 or so. So I mean, but she was pretty dank back in the day. Or it's 2019. Sorry. And so that what was my train of thought with that? Linda Fiorentino, Harold Becker. That's a movie he made called Vision Quest. His other movies are incredible. I mean, Sea of Love, a movie called Malice, starring Nicole Kidman and Alec Baldwin. It didn't get a title until very late into the process. It was actually known as the Untitled Harold Becker Thriller. And when I first started talking to him, we discussed that very aspect of things. And oh, you're being a big bubble, huh? Yeah. You can hear my big bubble in the background. Yeah, big bubble. Yeah, make a bubble. Let's see. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, you're sweet dog. You're sweet dog. He made Domestic Disturbance. I'm sorry, getting back to the subject matter here. he made Domestic Disturbance, was a really, really, really good movie starring John Travolta, Steve Buscemi, and Vince Vaughn. And I believe I posted a commentary on that movie not too far back from right now. Sorry if you hear any. I'm at 10% right now. That's fine. I'll unplug it for a minute so I can just kind of get more comfortable. Excuse me, dog. Let me sit back here a little bit. So have you, Jesse? Have you seen Demolition Man? Sorry, I want to participate and do more like interaction here. Have you seen Demolition Man? Anyone else out there watching? Hope you're having a good. Okay, no, you haven't seen that one. That one's really good. If you want, and the DVD is really good. It has a great commentary track to it by Marco as well. And on the commentary is actually Joel Silver, legendary Hollywood producer Joel Silver. So I mean, just briefly, Joel Silver. I don't even know if you could have the action movie genre without him. He's I've heard some really crazy stories about him. I've heard some positive stories about him as well, but literally he's helped produce some of the greatest action movies and things of all time. So guess who is that? The board game, or is this someone else? Maybe that's what someone else. I don't know. Hello, Demolition Man. Yeah, so Wesley Snipes does quite a wonderful performance in that movie. I'll get to my review of that in just a couple minutes. The third movie I'm going to review, so that's Demolition Man. That's the other one I said. Sea of Love with Al Pacino. And he just
check out a Harold Becker movie, and then check out the commentary for it, and then think about what he's talking about on the commentary. No, who this is? I'm thinking it's probably Matthew. Like you're over at Jesse's house or something like that. That's my guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's my guess. Because you weren't talking about the board game. Guess who? That is a pretty cool board game though. Raid the chat. What about Abracadabra? It's Jesse Kennedy. If I'm supposed to read the chat, it's says your name's Jesse Kennedy. So this is off topic, but are you going to watch Quentin's 9th film? Okay, I'm reading the chat. It's kind of challenging though. Do I know who this is? Do you mean read the chat or read the chat? See, words are hard to read. I give people that read books every day a lot of credit. I read a lot of nonfiction stuff all the time. And it's much easier to contextualize nonfiction stories than it is, words and what people are saying and quotes and things like that. So, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, Demolition Man. Let's just get to the review of that, and we can get updated about who is here. His name is Robert Paulson. Robert Paulson. Why does that name sound so familiar? Why does that name sound so familiar? Robert Paulson. Who's Robert Paulson? Sorry, I don't know who that is. I was talking about Demolition Man. It says your name is Jesse Kennedy. I'm confused now. Robert Paulson. Okay. And in the first scenes, you see that Wesley Snipes' character is some kind of crazy dude, like a terrorist. Robert Paulson was in Fight Club. I don't know. I've seen, met Chuck Palahniuk. It's Matt. I took over the chat. Oh, hi. Yeah, I figured it was you. So Fight Club. Yeah, that's a great movie. I can't really think of all the characters' names in it. I know Tyler Durden and was Robert Paulson, the Edward Norton, real other dude. Yeah. So I enjoyed Fight Club. I went to a special screening of it. I think 5 years after it was released, so that must have been 2004 or 2005. Yeah, and it was great to talk to Chuck Palahniuk. I've been in touch with him through email a couple of times since. And none of his other books have been converted to what do you call it? Other movies that are successful, which I find to be quite odd because I remember reading a couple of his books in the past and being quite impressed, and thinking that they'd be good movies, and then they turned out not to be. All right, so I'm gonna rig this up properly so I can go in my quote unquote movie poster room, but that's a little high profile for this time of night. I'm just trying to basically do a live stream for a little bit more here. So how's it going out there, Matt? How's life? How's life tonight? And how was a business today? And have you never seen any of Demolition Man, or you just seen parts of it, or things like that? I'm thinking that the way most people grow up nowadays, flipping through cable channels and things like that. We got a total of 6 people. Wow. As guests all day? As guests all day at this small little place, man. There's only 6 people, man. That's crazy. Anyway. My dog's licking my leg. Oh, you've seen Demolition Man, but
Jaybird. That's a cool little nickname. Let's see. Did I get that right? Let's see. Where are my words at? All chat. I've seen. Yeah, Jaybird. Jaybird. You like that name? My dog likes that name. Jaybird. Oh yeah, Jaybird. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Dumbo. Just going off topic, we can continue the review of Demolition Man. Dumbo. I mean, I don't get it. Everyone knows that there's those crows in the movie that they're like, uh, the crows. They're portraying African American characters, or caricatures, I guess you would say. And they don't got Disney. What did you say? Sorry. They don't got them crows in the movie, as far as I say. Yeah, and Tim Burton and Disney do not mix. Not only do they not mix in that regard, but they just, I don't know. I've seen some of the movie now, so I don't really want to reveal too much, but them crows are not in the movie. It's a movie without any racial color of any kind, really. I find that to be really jarring from what I know about the original. I mean, not that Dumbo has some great origin story, but in that movie, there are crows that are like dumbfounded that an elephant can fly. Oh, I've never seen an elephant fly. Oh, yeah. Talking they're like over exaggerated kind of parody of themselves type depiction, and I could see why they want to steer clear of that completely, because it's basically like Song of the South style mockery, I guess. But to act like that those elements didn't make Dumbo a successful movie, the animated didn't make to act like those crows didn't and weren't part of making Dumbo successful is a little bit against the principles of what made Dumbo successful, if that makes any sense. So, let's see what you got here on this. On the remake, they do not have the hallucination scene where they don't got a lot of that stuff. I don't even recall that one that you're mentioning right now, but they don't have a lot in that remake. So anyway, I mean, I found Michael Keaton's accent or voice, whatever he's doing, to be quite odd. Quite odd indeed. I didn't really know what was going on with that, in fact. Really annoyed by Alan Arkin. I'm not sure if everyone out there knows that actor, but he's just annoying as fuck. He's been in a lot of movies, and like the last 6 or 8 movies that he's in lately just annoy me to no end. So that's Alan Arkin. He actually won the Oscar for Little Miss Sunshine in 2005 or 6, whenever the fuck that came out. And I think that Eddie Murphy did a better performance for the movie he was in that year, Dreamgirls. And then Eddie Murphy famously left the Oscars early after that, storming out of the room because he was, pretty pissed off that Alan Arkin won. I mean, nothing to dislike really about Alan Arkin. I just kind of get tired of seeing him, and he looks like he's tired. I guess that's my thing. Well, I don't like seeing people in movies that look like they don't like being there, or that they're just there, because they ain't got nothing else better to do. I mean, I think Hector Elizondo shows more on-camera chemistry, charisma, whatever you want to call it. Looks like he's happy to be there than Alan Arkin. He's a couple years younger than Alan Arkin, but yeah, he can play older as well. So I would like to just kind of substitute out Alan Arkin for Hector Elizondo in all movies going forward. But obviously don't run any of these studios, but I would gladly, they gave me a call, I would recommend that. Say like Alan Arkin you can go take a smaller role somewhere. Now Alan Arkin's son, Adam Arkin, I believe, or Adam Arkin, something else Arkin. He played in Halloween H2O. I think he did a really, really good job. no one ever really talks about how good those performances were between Jamie Lee Curtis and that man in the movie. I mean, because when you see Halloween 2018 and you see the watered down performance, character choices that were made for Jamie Lee Curtis's character, you just kind of like get pissed off that they would remove Halloween H2O and Halloween 4 and 5 and 6 and all these movies from the timeline if they're only going to replace it with the 2018 Halloween, which, let's be honest, I'm not going to do much spoilers in case people haven't seen the Halloween movie, but like the 2018 Halloween movie did to the franchise is a nuclear bomb. It basically says, okay, Michael Myers only killed all them cats on that one night and then got rounded up and put in a fucking loony bin for 40 years. And then his punk ass figured out how to escape. And now, like, we should all be worried about him? No, we really shouldn't. He's just a spree killer. What is this? What would Mike do? Yeah, I'm talking about the remake. Let me see the chat here. Sorry. Let me see this remake. They do not have to. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the remake of Halloween. And what really offends me, Matt and Jesse out there, most about the remake is it reprograms what Mike Myers is. It takes away all the kills that he made in Halloween 2. All, we don't talk about Halloween 3, we just get right to Halloween 4. All the kills he makes in Halloween 4, some of the best kills of the series, some of the great kills in part 5, 6, 7, even up to Halloween Resurrection, and throws it in the garbage bin in order to reprogram Michael Myers as being a spree killer who basically just had a bad night one night in Halloween and killed a bunch of people, and they got locked up in the fucking loony bin for 40 years and then escaped and then killed some people in 2018. Point for point, that movie sucks. H2O, Josh Hartnett's performance as Jamie Lee Curtis's son is way better than Marmaduke's mother's performance in Halloween 2018. I mean, Judy Greer, they're in the process of making another one. Actually, they're not. I'd like to clarify that. They're not in the process of making another one. It's not going well. Just say that much. There were, fractious relationship despite all the things that we've heard about, how great it was to go back to the well, or all, how great Jamie Lee Curtis was selling the movie. Well, the reason why she was getting all that fucking interviews is there was something in her contract stating that every interview or everything she did, she would get a higher percentage of the gross. So Jamie's always really who isn't motivated by money? But like, when she made Halloween H2O, I mean, I'm basically a historian of the series, and because of people that I know a lot of the stuff for a fact at times. But like in 1998, she went on every talk show the same thing she did for this. Oh, I didn't really know my character back then in 1978. Oh, what a great opportunity this is. I love her. I think she should have won the Oscar for that movie. I think she's better in Halloween H2O than Gwyneth Paltrow is in Shakespeare in Love. And I don't think anyone really would go out there and say that Gwyneth Paltrow is one of the greatest Oscar winners of all time. I mean, people barely even remember that she won that Oscar. So what I'm saying is not that far out of left field with this, but from the sources I have with Malik Akkad and, obviously being friends with John Carpenter's son, John Carpenter's son did the music on the Halloween movie. He, let's just say this. The only reason he went forward and did this was because his dad was setting the thing up, right? He had already been on board as a executive or associate producer credit based on that he made the original movie. And the deal was only for one movie. Blumhouse Universal thing. They think that they're going to be able to strong arm Halloween and that, like, the rights holders for Halloween and, like, squeeze all of these carpenters and squeeze all these people from the Deborah Hill family out of proper gross percentages, which have not really even been come through on. So a lot of the stuff you're not going to read about out there. And the movie horror news blogosphere and all this, they're distracted as fuck right now. They're distracted with The Curse of La Llorona. They're distracted with Doctor Sleep. Shining, the Shining sequel, Doctor Sleep is what it's called. And they're distracted with Child's Play, which is getting all the buzz right now. So they're really shills, for lack of a better word. I mean, that's a common thing that people say a lot of the time now about these movie media, but a lot of them that I know are shills. A lot of them that I don't know are shills, but a lot of them are good people, such as Robert and my late friend John and others that are worked in the movie media and try to keep at least some degree of integrity to them. Of course, not all of them do. But think about all the stuff that they were saying about Halloween 2018. So this is a little bit of a litmus test for everyone out there, or everyone whoever will ever see this. Think about it, okay? There was just over the top praise, over the top praise, over the top praise for Halloween 2018 until actual human beings started seeing the movie. Then there was like a tremendous backlash, and then people in the media started backing off and realizing that they were, shoving slop down everyone's throat, and this slop was starting to regurgitate out of their mouth because they saw the movie, and they're like, oh, this is a bunch of canned ass bullshit with its 95% or whatever Rotten Tomato score that it had. And I'll tell you what, man, these people have no integrity with their words. They work in the movie business, and they're reviewing these movies positively, not because they thought the movie was good. They may have thought the movie was good, but the reason that they're being so ebullient and so over the top with all this is sick. It's basically so they can get more favors through Universal, more favors through Disney. You want to obviously get the favors all through Disney if you can. So basically try to find a movie that just had an out and out a comic book movie. Let's limit it to that. Find a comic book movie that doesn't have just glowing reviews by a mainstream critic. Find me one mainstream critic that will go out of their way to bash a Marvel movie. They won't. It's pretty scary. They won't because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. And that's the same situation with these Halloween shills who just lined up to just praise the movie, praise the movie, praise the movie. And then at the certain point now that we are 6 months after the release of Halloween, don't there would be some degree of one of these shills that love Halloween so much want to know and report about all this information. But no, they haven't done that. So I think that that's a pretty good litmus test to show you that like their enthusiasm was fake for the movie, so fake as which that they won't even look into the story that's floating out there among me and other people that the movie's dead, where really there's no report of the movie being alive. So it's basically you have to find a pulse on something that's not really cooking. I really, really, really hope that Danny or David Green and Danny McBride aren't going to be there for the next one. Hey, it's Matt. I'm about to head out. It was nice chatting with you. You have a good night. I'm going to hand it back to. Okay, cool. Oh man, this is awesome, man. Have a good time out there, Matt. You have a good night. Hopefully, you got your sculpture sent and everything. And it's really quite cool to have some these individuals joining me. These particular individuals had been joining me, and now we are down to this other particular individual. I really enjoy the movie Idiocracy. If I refer to people as particular individuals at times, it's from the movie Idiocracy. I really like their terminology for different things in it, and there's a lot of things in society that remind me quite a lot of Idiocracy. So goodbye, Matt. It was a wonderful time to talk to you. and very surprising to engage is again, and you're Matt and J Dog hanging out. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll have to interact. Oh man, this is awesome. Really, really cool. Yeah, so I can go on these rants for the Halloween movie. I think I should probably maybe do like a 2 hour rant about why I really have such strong feelings about the Halloween 2018 movie and why. But it's basically summed up pretty much like this. Whether someone likes Halloween 2, whether someone likes Halloween 4, whether someone likes Halloween 5, 6, 7 being H2O, and 8 Halloween being Resurrection, whether they like those movies or not, they need to acknowledge that those things happened in it. And if they don't, so this is an if then statement, then if they don't, they need to have something that substitutes in. You don't have an exciting horror movie or an exciting horror franchise if Michael Myers has been locked up in the loony bin for 40 years. I don't care if he escapes, blah, 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 blah. Just do the math, everybody. The dude's 48 years old or so when he's, escaping this next time. Is that scary to anyone? He hasn't killed anyone else in captivity. How's he even going to get his edge back? It just doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, did you watch the Halloween 2018? I'd never really seen. Oh, I'm going to take that back. I saw Halloween 6 and Halloween H2O in theaters. And at the time of watching those movies back in the day, I didn't really even enjoy them all that much. But I did enjoy them on like the basic level of them being good horror movies. But since, obviously rewatching and getting to know people from these movies and all that, I am totally impressed with Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, and Halloween 6. Those movies I saw in theaters, and also the other ones, like I mentioned, Halloween 2. Halloween 3 doesn't have Michael Myers in it at all, so we don't mention that. I mean, we do because it's a wonderful movie, but not in the context of this. Halloween 4 with Danielle Harris and all that is an awesome, awesome movie. Just an awesome movie. Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 are really underrated horror movies. So I'm really a big fan of Halloween movies. Having only seen a couple of them and then seeing them all, I just don't get how people say that they're bad. I don't get how people. I mean, I know how people like to say that the first one's the best. I don't disagree. I mean, the skilled manner in which it's made and everything like that, but I don't think it's my favorite. I think I like the other ones a little bit more. Let me see if I can read that last message here. I need bigger eyes. I need to be able to read better. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of the Halloween, the Carpenter one. Oh, that's so cool, man. You saw the Carpenter one in theaters last year. Well, that's something I've never been able to do. I've seen Friday the 13th one in theaters. I was invited by the producer, Sean Cunningham, to go. Or producer, the director, Cunningham. It's part of a discussion I was having with him because I wanted to name this, horror festival that I'm planning off of the camp from the Friday the 13th movies. And that was quite an honor to see the Friday the 13th movie there live and everything like that. Okay, so if you haven't seen any of the Halloween movies, I would just recommending, I guess, seeing them in order. There's a little bit more of a, I don't know why I saw the Friday the 13th so out of order, but I did jump around on those and enjoyed what I saw. When I saw it and everything like that. So, it's pretty cool. Both movie series is just so far and away the two best horror franchises. It doesn't even. I mean, I give all the people the respect that like Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's just another level of entertainment is the Friday the 13th and the Halloween movies, in my opinion. Um, one of the ones I really like that gets a negative review by almost everyone online is Halloween Resurrection. Kind of a strange title. A lot of movies were getting subtitled Resurrection around that time. I think Alien Resurrection, a couple others. This is Halloween Resurrection, and it's made by the Weinsteins, obviously. So there's a lot of different references to the other Weinstein movies of that era, and it's about a reality TV show that wants to set up at the Michael Myers house and bring people in that haven't been there, kind of like in an escape room type situation. In terms of an escape room type movie, it's one of the best made, and that's why I think I hated Escape Room so much, is because basically it was I don't know, a very low grade version of this. So I really do enjoy each Halloween movie for different reasons. Um, I would just check out. I mean, you saw the John Carpenter one, and it played on the big screen. That's awesome. But no, to spoil anything, Halloween 3 has nothing to do with the rest of the movies. So I would say just watch Halloween 3 first sometimes, or just watch Halloween 3 sometime. It literally has nothing to do with any of the other Halloween movies. So what I'm thinking is for these new, if there is a new Halloween movie in the future, they disconnect from the 2018 plot. That would be awesome, and they just make a new Halloween movie that talks about some of the events in Halloween 3 and make it go all full circle. I don't know if that makes any sense, but Halloween 3 is basically about, um, it has some overlaps with some things that are mentioned in Halloween 6. That's about it. Other than that, it's its own like independent story. So do you live in the Fort Smith area there? I know Matt lives actually out of town a little bit, so I'm sure he had to head back. Enjoying some cream soda. I was thinking how cool it would be uh, one day if Malco or the theater gets more drink options, more different soda options such as cream soda, or I don't even know if you can have that out of a fountain though. I've never seen cream soda out of a fountain. Now a fountain. There's an AMC theater out there in California that literally you can get any drink that you want. It's like 150 drinks at once. So those are pretty cool. Be pretty amazing to get one of those up at the Malco, I'll tell you that. So yeah, it's a beautiful day, beautiful night. Really enjoying the festivities. Did you see the Joker trailer today? Did we talk about it already? I think I saw you briefly, but did you watch the Joker trailer today? The Joker trailer. Let me see if I got any messages or check on here. Hey, was it crowded when you watched the Halloween movie last year? Was it crowded? I think there was only 10 people at I'm in Van Buren, not far from Matt. Oh, okay, cool, cool. I think there was only 10 people at the Karate Kid screening the other day. Karate Kid. I'm unclear. No, I saw that in theaters. It's pretty tripped out, man. I saw Karate Kid in theaters. I was 3. We need some more. I can't read what it says. We need some more options. Oh, cool. Oh, they got one in Coke machines. AMC. Oh, you guys are getting some drinks. I get it. And I thought it said dunk options. So I was like, wow, I get slam dunk. Um, so me and Jacob played basketball today. Uh, just saw it about an hour ago. Looks awesome. Oh yeah, yeah, man. I watched it maybe 4 or 5 times now. Watching it with some trailer reaction people like that, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited indeed. I'm excited for these movies this year, man. It should be pretty cool to watch some of these. You know, 2016, 17, 18. I can't really think of too many movies I was that excited for, except like the real big ones. Maybe 20 people. Wow, man, they were missing out, man. Um, Similarly, when I saw Friday the 13th on the big screen, I'd say there was about 80 or 90 people, but it was in a Palace theater, one of those old theaters. So I had to rewind you, so I'm about 2 minutes behind. Oh, no problem. I don't know how to correct that. Maybe I'll just almost. I'm gonna take a hit in a minute here. um, about 2 minutes behind, so I should pause myself. Can I pause myself? I'm not sure. I'm getting to know all this stuff. Okay, so Demolition Man was one of the movies I was going to review. Sea of Love, starring Harold Becker and Ellen Barkin and John Goodman and Michael Rooker and Samuel L. Jackson. And the third one I'm going to review is Arlington Road. So what are you guys drinking out there tonight? What are you guys drinking out there tonight? This DVD I just put on right now is very good. It's Arlington Road, and it's made by a buddy and I, Mark Pellington. And here he is. He's on the screen here. I don't think I'll just start the movie and have it play in the background. "Quote unquote," really good thriller. Arlington Road. I highly recommend it. Oh, that's fine. You had to rewind to chat. Um, I've been doing that a lot too. I actually hit the wrong button a lot when I'm watching YouTube. Man, isn't YouTube pretty just awesome? Man, I don't have TV and I'm not missing it. I'm getting better programming on YouTube with less commercials. Uh, it's one of these things I never really thought I'd be saying is that YouTube is pretty dominant lately. Watched Ben Shapiro on the Joe Rogan show today, so that was pretty cool too. So you're in Van Buren, that's pretty cool. Something you guys don't know probably about me is I've run marathons. I've run several, and looking to do some long distance running here not too long from now. So I wanted to run to Van Buren sometime in the next couple weeks. So it might be something I'm doing. Maybe I'll do a live stream up there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what people know about Arlington Road or not, but it stars Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges, and it's basically about terrorism. I think it's best that I kind of leave out a lot of the key details. I just forwarded, so we're on the same time now. Okay, perfect, dude. Um, yeah, so this movie Arlington Road that I'm discussing here, or I just put on, it's a movie about terrorism, and it was made in 1999, and 2 years before 9/11. I saw this movie in the theater with my mom, and we were blown away by it. You know, uh, since become friends with the director, I don't really like his work per se and other stuff. I mean, he made Mothman Prophecies. He's made a slew of other films, and I don't even know if this movie is the greatest. Um, but there's something very compelling about it, and very strong performances by Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins, and I highly recommend Arlington Road. Probably one of the best thrillers ever made, in terms of the kind of punch that it packs towards the end of the film. So directed by Mark Pellington. It only made about 25 or 30 million in 1999 on like a $40 million budget. So it wasn't exactly the world's biggest hit or anything like that. And it's produced by Sony. Opening scene here has Mason Gamble III, old buddy of mine. He played in Dennis the Menace, and he does a really effective job in this film. And good to see that he's doing well. Joan Cusack. I know that Matt has an affinity towards John Cusack. Joan Cusack is in. Joan Cusack is in Arlington Road as Tim Robbins' wife. I think that's what you call it. And then Hope Davis as Jeff Bridges' new girlfriend. I highly recommend the movie. Jeff Bridges is a widower in it and is someone that knows a lot about domestic terrorism. And then when a neighbor moves in on the block by Tim Robbins, played by Tim Robbins, all hell breaks loose. I'll just leave it at that. Some good soda. I really recommend Arlington Road. Good cast. Need to check that one out. Yeah, that's a good one. Arlington Road. Arlington Road. Could have had a better title. I really like these thrillers. I mean, obviously I love a lot of these slasher movies, but a good blank from hell thriller. Now, why are they calling them blank from hell thrillers? Because you fill in the blank. It's basically, they started with Fatal Attraction and these other movies. The Mistress from Hell, right? Glenn Close is obsessed with Michael Douglas's character in that. And then you got movies like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, where it's the babysitter from hell or the nanny from hell. And then you got a movie like Arlington Road, where it's, the neighbor from hell. And then, what were some other movies? Other examples of this genre. Pacific Heights, starring Michael Keaton, Matthew Modine, and Melanie Griffith. I recommend that one as well. That one is of the very interesting genre of a tenant from hell. Here you are, someone that bought a house and you're renting it out to someone who's not only a total nutcase, but is trying to take what's yours, the house that you own. It's a pretty twisted concept. Made by one of these great directors named John Schlesinger, who made Midnight Cowboy and Day of the Locust. I highly recommend Pacific Heights. All these thrillers, I mean, they're so good. Some people that really like horror movies that don't like these thrillers, they need to check themselves, because some of these thrillers have better kills than any horror, especially A Kiss Before Dying, starring Sean Young and Matt Dillon. That has very, very good kills in it. What y'all doing out there tonight? Let's see. You gonna go? Hey, are y'all going to the meeting on Saturday morning? I got an alert about that, and I got a busy week this week. I'm very thankful, and God bless. Man. Play this baseball strategy game. Sally, haha. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day. I'm doing 2 shifts that day and that meeting, so trying to figure out how I'm gonna get home and walk my dog at that point, or halfway through the day. So I have to work that out. But like I said, I'm thankful to be there all day. I don't know what my duties will be, but they should be pretty chill, I'm sure. Uh, I did a movie commentary the other day for a movie called the Gauntlet, and I was friends with Sandra Locke, the woman who was in it, and I got an email from like an aunt or a cousin of Sandra Locke, and I don't even know if she watched what I wrote, but she knows that I've been talking about Sandra Locke here or there about how good of a person she was, and because there's a whole negative campaign out there, because she was Clint Eastwood's mistress, and then later his wife, and then in like 8 of his movies, and then things went horribly wrong between the two of them. The media sided with Clint Eastwood, and Sandra Locke's history has kind of gone to the wolves, because obviously he made Unforgiven soon after leaving, or whatever, soon after the relationship ended. So it created kind of a different dynamic. One that Sandra Locke was never able to destigmatize from. But she had a good run and directed a movie, which is something that very few other women were doing in the 1980s. So that was nice. Some loud noise outside. Sorry. Children of the Corn. You got an update. I got an email from Dano Cherney. I believe that's how I pronounce his name. And Dano Cherney is one of my favorite villains of all time. Dano Cherney made made the main villain character in Children of the Corn Part 3. Children of the Corn 3, wow, what a cool movie that is. It's one of the cooler franchises because each movie is connected to the next, but not necessarily all the connective tissue comes through. They kind of are able to reinterpret the stories, and obviously the filming locations vary for each film, which is always fun to point out. Here's a palm tree, isn't that supposed to be whatever? But I really do like Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest quite a lot. So basically following the events of Children of the Corn 2, the children that are living, that survive, they're sent to foster care in Chicago. And then it's just basically about what happens there in Chicago in that situation. And so one of the kids in that becomes kind of the leader of everything. And his name is Dano Cherney. And I'm really excited. Hopefully I can set up a time to talk to him. Usually once I initiate contact with someone, getting them to agree to be interviewed takes not necessarily some time, but time to coordinate when all that can be done and all that. So, man. Trying to find alternative ways of getting DVDs lately. Not liking Amazon very much, so just turning Amazon off basically lately. And I went to a website called secondspin.com, and I don't know if I want to place an order with them. Because now that I'm not going to be using Amazon, I want to make sure whoever I go through next, I'm trusting who they are, and that way I don't just keep going through one online DVD purchaser after another, getting spotty service and things like that. I want to build up some kind of loyalty. Because I'll probably spend a certain amount of money on DVDs or Blu-rays every month. So, but you see me moving around a little bit because I have a dog that's lying around on my leg. That's always a little bit of an adventure to navigate around and move around when I got a dog right underneath me. Like literally underneath me. But she's such a sweet dog. Yes, she is. Yes, she's such a sweetie. My little Goomba. Are you a big Goomba? Hold on, let me help you out. Oh, you're a big Goomba, huh? Is that the big Goomba? Yeah. Are you a big Goomba? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, how's everyone doing out there in Van Buren? What's new in Van Buren? What's going on out there in Van Buren tonight? And for everyone else tuning in around the world, what's going on out there tonight, today, wherever you are joining us from? All right. So I'll just continue one of my movie reviews. Demolition Man stars also Sandra Bullock, Dennis Leary. I'm getting a message here. Uh, Calling, got the day. Chilling, got the day off. Tomorrow, just relaxing tonight. Ah, sweet, dude. Nice. Yeah, I gotta go in 6 o'clock tomorrow. But unfortunately, we're dealing with some construction here in this lovely mansion that I live in, and I'm having to have people uh, come and do construction. Like freaking today, they started banging on my door at 8:45, even though I specifically told them to not come before 9 a.m. So that's always fun. So obviously, even though I don't have to work till 6 p.m. tomorrow, I have some activities I got to do in the morning, which is leave the leave here and mill around town with my dog so that people can come in here and service the apartment and all that. Just absolute hassle, but we'll see how that goes. Uh, Met up with Jacob earlier today, and then had a pretty good day at work. Glad you're just chilling out there. Uh, oh man. Oh fuck. Sorry, I didn't know that you guys hung out and stuff. That's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of really good '90s movies. As I'm just like kind of thinking about some movies, there really are a lot of really good '90s movies that I didn't necessarily like uh, too much at the time, but I think they've aged quite well. Um, Kiss of Death, one I'm looking at right now, Arlington Road, um, one I mentioned earlier. Just a lot of really good movies out there. Ugh. Getting back to the Demolition Man, it also stars Bob Gunton, who was in Shawshank Redemption. It has Rob Schneider in it. It has Benjamin Bratt, and it's just a tremendous movie. Really, from the opening beginning, it grabs you. You know, there's this terrorism event that goes wrong, and Stallone and Snipes are, dropped into this cryogenic, situation. And then once they're unfrozen, uh, summon Phoenix, which is Wesley Snipes' character goes back to wreaking havoc on society, just like he did, in the '90s. But here he is in the future, ready to, wreak even more havoc. And I really, really enjoy the experience of Demolition Man, and that's the best way to describe it. See, like buildings. Hey, quiet, go lie down. Futuristic buildings. They take over buildings in Irvine, which has kind of a futuristic look anyway. and seeing the modified cars and how General Motors, helped participate in the making of the movie, all this other stuff. So, hey, go on your backside and lie down right now. You're making a mess. My dog's making a mess. You're making a mess. She's laughing about it. Dogs are funny. She's just sitting on this couch making a mess. You making a mess? Yeah, you are. You're a Bubba Wubba. That's my dog right there. Let me just put you on a hold here, okay? Ah, fuck. Curly, good dog, dude. You can go lie down somewhere else, actually. Just give me a little space right now, man. Yeah, sometimes I need a little space. You need to lie down. Oh, man. That feels so much better, but still room to be improved. I'm putting the phone down here for a second just so I can do something here. So I'll check back on the chat in just a second. Fuck. So have you seen the Lethal Weapon movies? That franchise? I started to maybe do a video series on those, but I haven't really gotten much further into it yet. But really looking forward to reviewing each one of the movies, the Lethal Weapon movies, and yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know. I really like I guess the chemistry between Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges and Arlington Road. I think when they're getting to know each other at the beginning, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm back. Hey, new chat. Let me look. Nope, still haven't seen them yet. So many franchises I have to catch up on. Yeah, what we should do is try to take over a theater sometime and see if we can get any good digital copies of one of them and just put them on a big screen. Because then it would be really cool to do a marathon of the Lethal Weapon movies. I mean, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 a little bit better than 3 and 4, obviously, but really good film franchise for sure. One that's very easy to watch quickly is FX1 and FX2. Now, it's not the movie cable channel or whatever, but FX1 and what's this? Yeah, totally. Been watching to use the theater. Yeah, man, it would be really cool. We put on our own kind of festival or something like that. Yeah, let's talk when I see you next time. A lot of stuff going on there at work lately, so maybe chance things get shaken up. I don't know. That's exciting. I'll tell you that. Ideally, put on a movie festival one day when we're running things. But yeah, we'll let things all play out. But it's been kind of a trip. Interested to see what goes on in the meeting and what all this stuff's all about. But I really think been training some, or not training, but helping some of the new people on door and some of the other people there, and there really are a lot of really good workers or good people, good people that have good intentions there. It's been really nice to see. I mean, um, leave it at that. So yeah, just a lot of these great action franchises or movies in the 80s and 90s, it's hard to catch up on, but I think you get a kick out of FX1 and FX2. I think you've probably seen my videos. You see me describe them a little bit, but it's basically about a guy that's a special effects wizard, for movies. He does makeup and special effects, and he's hired to help be part of this conspiracy. And fascinating movie, fascinating concept for a movie. Because obviously we know special effects are fake, or we think they do, because as you're watching the movie, you don't really know what's real, what's fake, and that's what it's so cool to see. And then the sequel, a pretty decent sequel. I mean, obviously not as good as maybe the first one, but good in other ways too. You know, adds a little bit more depth to the situation, I guess you would say. FX2. So then sadly, the FX channel, is a cable channel, right? I think there's even FXX. It just totally confuses the fuck out of people because prior to FX being a cable channel, everyone knew that FX and FX2, the movies, were very good action movies that were always on cable. Like growing up, FX1 and FX2 was on like all times of the day. Like for real, for real. So it's pretty interesting. So trying to figure out exactly how to get this like little horror movie that I wrote to get filmed. I'm thinking I might try to do it at a drive-in or a couple other different places, but it should be pretty chill. I don't think if I go to the drive-in and just we pay admission for the two cars, the way people are using their cell phones nowadays anyway, me filming so much, being kind of inconspicuous with drive-in. Hopefully I can get away with it. I don't know. Never been to that drive-in. I'm one of these individuals that I gotta just grow my beard out again because not having a beard and then having one and this all back and forth and all that, it's just it's torture on the face. Very difficult to deal with. So lack of things. I'm just trying to make sure I say something that's interesting that we all can talk about and stuff like that. I mean, clearly, the Dirty Harry franchise, that'd be awesome as well for you to check out and just see what you think about that. I have a lot of work to do as far as these Marvel movies. I do kind of want to watch them all, but I don't know too much about which ones I'll enjoy. I mean, obviously, I know some of these people really like this one and that one and all this, but I'll have to decide for myself, I guess. I find it interesting that the first Iron Man movie was Paramount, right around the same time that they were making Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and now both of those properties are gone to Disney. Iron Man gone to Disney, Indiana Jones gone to Disney. I find that to be kind of odd and ironic. Yeah, I always wanted to do a movie. Um, so I basically just the plan is Jesse is to go to this drive-in and pay for the two cars and then just film there. I'll be the horror villain because I've done it in a couple other little short films before, and I'm tall and can do what's necessary for it. I'm hoping that a couple other people can play the other character. Got a lot of people at our work that have said they want to be in it and they want to, quote unquote, die in the movie. Um, and the ending of it's pretty sick. I mean, I'm trying to make it as derivative as possible. I'm not really trying to break new ground with this movie. I'm just trying to get something done, because having produced other movies in the past or been involved in the production of other movies, and my own, it just becomes so expensive and such a major commitment if you got all these loose ends and you can't film everything you need within a day or two. Filming everything you need within a day or two is completely essential to making the movie. So I'm down. I mean, I would love to have people, help share in the making of it, or not necessarily the expense, because it's going to be pretty much free, other than paying for the cars to go into the drive-in and maybe paying some people off. Honestly, I mean, I'm sure that these kids that work at the drive-in really don't care when it actually would help participate, as long as they don't rat us out. You know, to kick them down like 15, $20 and be like, yo, help us out with some logistics. I would hope that they'd be chill with that, but you never know. I don't know jack shit about how drive-ins are ran nowadays, but they've always been something I'm very fascinated with. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, drive-ins still existed. In fact, I saw Batman Begins. I saw a lot of movies on the drive-in in the mid 2000s. They're always been kind of popular in California, but started getting a little bit more popular, and so I was totally excited to go out there. Uh, Never been to one. We're refreshed into the script. Sorry. We Yeah, referring to the script. So yeah, the script is basically about oh God, another person joining the chat. Sorry, I didn't greet them. All right, so Jesse's here, and then we got someone else in the chat. So whoever's out there in the chat, welcome. Talking about this horror film I'm gonna make at a drive-in. There's other horror films I like that have been made at drive-ins, and then this one is one that I'm trying to not really break any new ground with, but just have some movie that you can film, kind of quickly. So, he's the horror villain. He's an annoying dude. He's going and spoiling the movie to people. Pops into their car, bothers them, and it's really, he's not just being a big goofball. He's got a real malevolent purpose, and his malevolent purpose is, I don't really mind spoiling it because I think it's going to be a good movie either way. He basically just wants to kill the males that are there, and then kidnap and impregnate one of the women that they're with, so that he can have offspring. So the final scenes of the movie are after he kills everyone, he takes one of the women, kidnaps her, and it jumps to like 9 months later. She's in what you think is a hospital room, but then it's not really a hospital room. It's just some abandoned building, and he's outfitted it to look like a hospital. And basically, she births her child, and then he grabs it from her and says, "Oh, thank you. It has my eyes," and then that's it. It's kind of scary concept. The nightmare doesn't end for the quote unquote final girl, and though she's escaping because she's it's not really known if she's going to escape or not, but the tyranny of her body being possessed by a child that she didn't necessarily want to create is horror of itself, horror enough of itself. Sounds killer. Yeah, I mean, I really like the ending, because some would say that it's just ridiculous that he just wanted to impregnate one of them or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, This dude's just stalking around this old drive-in, and he's really annoying in this one part. He's literally just pops into their car, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the part where blah 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 blah," and they're like, they're drinking and whatever. They don't want to cause a fight or cause a problem with this seemingly haggard old dude that's clearly homeless and shit. Oh, and then I think he pukes in their car, or he pukes. It's just like this putrid ass puke because I think he's dead or whatever. It doesn't even have to be explained. But yeah, so that's one of them, and then the other ones. I mean, they were highly complicated, and I even got some interest from these various studios or production houses to get them made. But the thing is, man, I don't want to sell any of my ideas. I started thinking about it because I've basically been paid nothing for a lot of these like great things that I've helped create through the years, and it sucks because it's like, I'm passionate about these ideas, and I'm tired of not getting, what I think is due compensation for them. For instance, uh, $22,000 I was offered once for a screenplay, and I just find that to be completely insulting. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like I'm obviously I don't get a lot of money now in anything that I do, but I'd rather have the integrity of just working than you know someone trying to piss on my stuff. Because $22,000 for some of these horror movies or different concepts, that's nothing, and especially like I'm gonna throw some numbers around. Uh, $480,000 for a movie called The Devil's Own. The screenwriter got that was the number that gentleman got. Now, I don't even know if you know what The Devil's Own is. It's a very bad movie from the 1990s starring Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt. And the only reason it had those stars in it is because they paid so much for the script that they basically kind of leveraged those guys and then gave them higher pay to come into the crappy ass movie. But my point is the screenplay was never good enough to deserve being a $480,000 movie. So I don't know. I mean, sure, it would be nice to get a screenplay made. Yeah, but will I resent the screenplay being made once it's made? Yeah, and I think that's worse than not having a movie made. And that's basically how I justified it. Is just I'm gonna swallow these screenplay ideas that I have and make it that these fools can't buy them from me, because you know 22,000 you give basically 20% off the top, and, and taxes another 20% off the top, and paying a bunch of bozo idiots that I ended up firing anyway. I mean, I had an agent, a publicist, and a lawyer that weren't doing jack shit except just eating my money. So yeah, I mean, this one screenplay I wrote called Adam and Eve. Pretty generic title, but it's basically a repurposed story about the Garden of Eden. It's set in a post-apocalyptic scenario. I'm not trying to break really much ground with where it's set. It's just basically that it is a rough and tumble steel warehouse that a bunch of surviving lost children, teens, adults, have assembled in this in an abandoned warehouse. And as in the beginning of time, there is Adam and Eve creating new life. Now, as the concept of the movie goes, is that now that it's down to where it is in the world, these Adam and Eve creatures are there to eliminate and take apart what's left in society and in the world. So it's a pretty dark horror movie that I have written, and it doesn't really care whether or not people can really follow it or not. There's like real primal energy that's within the characters and their interactions, and actually the verbiage and the terminology that they talk as they're being stalked by Adam and Eve, you know, in this abandoned warehouse. They basically have created their own jargon, so it's pretty interesting. Um, I really hope to make Adam and Eve one day. I mean, I don't know if any of these movies will ever happen, but one thing I really decided in about June of last year was that anything I make or anything I've made is because of me and me alone in the past, and anything I make going forward is going to be the same thing. You know, me and something else going forward, and it's just a matter of what the next part will be exactly. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But yeah, it's an exciting time. A couple of my other, you know, horror screenplays. Very excited to see get made, but you know, you never know. Any fans of Death Becomes Her out there in the chat? Anyone out there in the chat that fans with Death Becomes Her? I'm doing a email interview with some of the makers of its effects. And that will be 2 weeks from now. So that will be something that will be on the channel. That just popped up in my head there. Well, I play some basketball tomorrow. Let's see, what can we talk? So, what about Missing Link? You excited to watch that one? Missing Link. That's some movie we're getting there in a little while. Maybe you could take the daughter to see that one. I haven't seen that. Oh, it's killer. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I really want to become like if I only stay in the genre of horror, and let's say I make movies, and I only make horror movies, that would be fine with me because they're extremely profitable, and I can still watch other kind of movies and enjoy other kind of movies. But making horror would be great. Uh, and yes, I hope to catch that one. Absolutely, sure, watch it. All right, cool. Yeah, Missing Link. Yeah, that's good. I mean, the lady that runs the studio that bought, you know, the animating company, Leica. They made Jumbo the Shoestrings and a couple other movies. Kubo and the Shoestrings, excuse me. Um, so yeah, this weekend I was doing this in the chat the other day, or last night I think. I want to update what I think the grosses are going to be for this weekend. I think that how does this work? From Thursday night previews till Sunday evening, Shazam is projected at around 52 million right now. I'm almost seeing it being right around there or even a little bit lower. I'm just not feeling any real big buzz for it. And then when I saw, you know, looking at ticket sales and the different, you know, proprietary information I was available to, Shazam's only going to be in 2 theaters as well. I don't know, you know, most major uh, theaters across the country are, you know, 16 and up. A lot of the time, you know, many theaters similar to the one that I'm familiar with. So it really is when Shazam is only in 2 theaters and, you know, a 16 plex, for instance, or 3 theaters and a 24 plex, or Captain Marvel was probably in 10 and a 24 plex. You know, it makes a purely big difference about the money that's available to Shazam. I mean, what it can potentially make and all that. So, I think it's going to be around 53 million. And then I saw an article saying that Pet Cemetery is basically, if it makes 28 million, that will be low, but that's about where it should be at. So I'm gonna say like 29 million for Pet Cemetery. And last night I was saying it can make or my friend Lauren was saying it can make almost about 40 million. I just don't see that being likely. It's like still a lot of people haven't seen Us. I mean, I don't think Pet Cemetery exactly has anything that really is a must see for anyone, especially with Jason Clarke being in it. People are going to be annoyed by that guy. That they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that guy before. He can't act. He's back. The bad actor's back." But I mean, I wish him well. I mean, I hope his character is good and everything like that, fleshed out. But mainly we want to see what we want to see with that. That was one more cream soda. This is when Jeff Bridges wasn't hip again. Late '90s was kind of tough for him. I like seeing the different stages of Jeff Bridges' career. He's the only entertainer to be nominated in every decade. That would be the '70s, '80s, '90s, 2000s, and it's gonna stop this decade because he's probably not going to get nominated for anything in 2019. But if he does, he does, and then that would continue that incredible streak. And he even won the Oscar in 2008, I believe, with Crazy Heart. Have you seen Crazy Heart, Jesse, out there in the chat? Have you seen Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges? Right around that time, Mickey Rourke was in The Wrestler, and Sean Penn won for playing in Milk. That was an odd thing that happened once. And yes, I hope to catch that one. Hopefully, she'll want to watch that. Okay, yeah, the missing link. Really want to watch that one too. Yeah. Um, Colin Farrell's really good in Crazy Heart. Something that no one really talks about ever is that Colin Farrell did a really good performance in Crazy Heart. Kind of hard to believe, but true. Uh, so I really like all sorts of kinds of music. So that was always awesome to see that movie. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy going on with the Us comments. People like to find controversy about everything nowadays. This gentleman, I mean, he has the right to cast whoever he wants in every movie or any movie. you know, People are always saying something like, "Oh, if the situation was reversed, it would be racist." It's like not really. It's not racist either way, and it's especially not racist if, let's say, whites were oppressed and then it was the exact same situation, and the person was saying, "Yeah, I don't want to work with." It's really interesting. It's put in a lot of like false interpretation of facts, and then that's what's kind of going on with that one, at least in my opinion. All right, let me see what's going on here. So I do something that's called like a Stratomatic baseball game. It's I have a different kind of mind than most. I created a really, like, I don't know what you call it actually. A really a good system that it works with and everything. So it's been quite helpful. Really good Blu-ray I could recommend for you is, or for anyone out there. What I like about it is two movies are on one disc, um, and it's made by Sony and through Mill Creek, I believe. Sony Columbia. Columbia was making quite a lot of genre movies and like teen comedies in the '80s. So two movies that they made. One called Private Resort, which actually stars Johnny Depp and several other famous actors at the time that would be famous years later, and that would be either like Andrew Dice Clay and who else is in that? Hector Elizondo and Rob Morrow, pretty well-known actor on TV in the '90s and 2000s mainly. So yeah, I've talked to Rob Morrow quite a lot about the making of that movie, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty tight little movie. Private Resort. Leslie Easterbrook also in that film. But then the other film that's on that is Hard Bodies, and that is just an awesome, awesome film. I think I've probably mentioned it on this channel in the past. It's a really good movie, really good teen comedy, I guess, from that era. Yeah, sex comedy, I guess you could call it. So, you guys playing video games over there? Or you guys, what are y'all up to? So, it's pouring rain out, huh? The winter in, where are we? Arkansas, huh? Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if you guys hear the wind and rain out there. It's getting a little bit louder. I hope everyone can hear me. But yeah, it's just been a beautiful day. Great weather. Great time to enjoy the great weather here in these fantastic southern states. And I'm looking forward to visiting more of the state and even going to Memphis. I want to go to Memphis. I see these ads for a new theater over there in Memphis. And that's one of the things I wanted to do is check out some of the cities all around here. So that should be really fun. Oh, why don't I talk about Sea of Love since I have described the other movies pretty well actually, but I hadn't really described Sea of Love other than that Harold Becker directed it. Now, I discussed I think last night The Fan, uh, which has Robert De Niro and had Ellen Barkin in a really good role. Well, that's true also for this movie, Sea of Love. She had been in movies prior to Sea of Love, but Sea of Love definitely made her career. She basically it's a blank from hell action thriller about. So it would be basically like the newspaper letter writer from hell who becomes obsessed with the Joker with uh, you know whoever, and that could be part of the story. But it looks like they're not doing that, and we'll have to see what direction it goes. We will have to see which direction it goes. Also, we should talk a little bit about some of the presentations that Disney, I think, unveiled some more Lion King uh, footage, and then they talked about Toy Story 4, and then uh, at the Universal unveil, they presented this, which seemingly is like a showing they have some connected universe that they're trying to build with their superheroes, like Submariner and all that. But I don't know. I'll go. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any of these chat messages. So, out of curiosity, like, which action franchises are you most interested in seeing? I'll name some. You got the Young Guns franchise, FX franchise. You got the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, the Lethal Weapon franchise, the 48 Hours franchise, obviously the Terminator franchise, the Predator early franchise, Predator 1 and 2, only ones I really acknowledge, and other films, other great action films as well of that era. Not necessarily franchises, but really good movies like Remo Williams, all that. Man, there's so many good ones. So many. It's such a great era for filmmaking. Smile, though your heart is breaking. Joaquin Phoenix, man, what a great actor. One of my favorite actors, and I don't even realize it. Really. Oh shit. Love Joaquin. Would like to see Lethal Weapon franchises. Need to check out uh Mad Max ones too. Yeah, okay, cool. I got Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Oh, and Jesse Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I swear to God, it used to be on TV or on the being advertised so much back in the day. So I'm when I watch Beyond Thunderdome, it just takes me back to feeling like when I saw it when I was very, very young. And Tina Turner, Mel Gibson, man, I should probably put that movie on. It's visually a stunning movie. Uh, and that's, I guess, the second entry in the series or the third. I'm not as familiar with those ones. They're pretty awesome, though. Really awesome. Um, the Lethal Weapon movies are really interesting because I don't know. I think it's very apparent that Lethal Weapon 2 is probably the best of the series. Oh, the Die Hards. Oh my gosh. They played Die Hard 1 recently over there. Um, really don't know why I didn't go, except that basically, I don't know. Maybe there was some situation going on then or whatever. But yeah, man, it's really cool to watch those. I mean, I even enjoyed Die Hard 4. Very few people have watched Die Hard 5. Most people just knew it wasn't going to be good and hasn't seen it. So I still haven't seen Die Hard 5. But Die Hard 1 through 4, probably seen Die Hard 1 hundreds of times. Really, really, really good special features. Really, really good documentary about the making of it and good commentary on that as well. So I give them very good credit for making some quality product on that one. Get this here. Yeah, I really like a movie that has good special features, or at least if it doesn't have good special features, at least it can uh, have some good replay value to it. Life Force is a good one. I was in the Robert Meyer Burnett chat earlier, and I think I'm going to try to get some more information about the making of that movie. Really enjoyed Life Force quite a lot. A good science fiction and action film. Really a well done movie. Ew. So I was watching Annihilation, Natalie Portman movie. I'm gonna watch a little bit more of it, but there's this really grisly scene in it where it's obvious that there is some human. It's decomposed to this. Oh, it's making my skin crawl as I'm describing it. But basically, this massive human skeleton is kind of melded in with these flowers, and it's like the craziest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. It really it really scared the shit out of me, to be honest. I mean, once y'all check it out, let me know if you see that part in Annihilation, or if you think any of the effects are really like hauntingly disturbing, I guess you could say. Like, my skin is crawling right now. It's so gross to even be talking about it. Saw that about a year ago at the theater. The music was awesome. Uh, the music was awesome. I think I enjoyed it from it more than most. Yeah, I can't make heads or tails of it, man. I want to pop it on here maybe later. But yeah, that scene where I don't even know how to describe it. They're finding that corpse or that decomposition, and the manner in which it looked was very disturbing to me. I don't really know why. Do you know why? Do you know that scene I'm talking about? It's so gross. It was like, just really gross. It made me. I didn't stop watching it right at that point, but it took out a lot of my energy. It was like I was like, what the fuck is that? But I didn't know. I really would like to know how they actually made that. It looked pretty gross. So I give the movie credit. A good friend of mine, I recommended the book and the movie, and yeah, I'm gonna watch it a little bit further. I'm gonna watch the special features. I actually put it away. I was gonna return it, but I figure, I don't work till where his torso is like 10 feet away. Yeah, dude, exactly that. And you can kind of tell that there's bones there. Yeah, that too. Everything you're saying is so gross. Is it a him or a her? I didn't even know what that was. Oh my god, dude, it's so fucking disturbing. um, yeah, there are some images in movies that freak me out probably more than anything else. And that was definitely pretty intense. Don't know if I buy Natalie Portman. Oh god. So yes, these Marines, they end up dying. For anyone who watches the stream later, Annihilation, I guess, is about this place called the Shimmer. All these motherfuckers are trying to get up in the Shimmer, and then, like, once they get into the Shimmer, a bunch of shit starts happening. So they're army veterans or Marines or whatever the fuck. And Natalie Portman met her husband in the army, I guess. And she's hanging around with these other broads that are just trying to go to the Shimmer because they have a more of a science background, etc. And so does this broad. She's got some science background too, but she was up in the army and all that. So, man, what a trippy movie though. What a crazy movie. I'm actually been thinking about what I was thinking about earlier today, which was Cliffhanger. Yeah, I that's what I would agree with Jesse, is that I don't know about the acting. I don't know
if I liked the performances as much as I like what's going on in it. And what's going on in it, if I understand right, I don't know. Is there that people are decomposing and all that? It's just so nasty. And she's looking for her husband, and why was her husband bleeding from the inside out? That was crazy. And why does Jennifer Jason Leigh look like the way she does? She looks so like the life's like sucked out of her face. So is she like some kind of vampire or something? That's what I'm starting to theorize. And that she looked vaguely like Elizabeth Shue at first. So the first times I'm watching her, I'm like, oh my god, it's Elizabeth Shue, but it's not Elizabeth Shue. You don't look like how you usually look, Elizabeth Shue. Why are you looking like that? And it's actually Jennifer Jason Leigh. So I found that to be kind of troubling and interesting as well. Yeah, so everyone was discussing on this show uh, whether Joker trailer is going to play with Shazam, which would be making a lot of sense on DC, Warner Brothers, or if they would show that trailer on the Pet Cemetery movie. My guess is they might just do it on both. Do because the trailer that we saw for Joker, I probably couldn't go in front of family audiences on Shazam, but it makes most sense that it would because of obviously them both being comic book movies. So that's something I'm gonna be interested to see, like what theater or what trailers play for what this weekend. I'll have to talk to Donna Fricks more about that. She's the woman to know about all that stuff with trailers. Pretty sharp lady. Let's see this here. I could see it before both movies. Yeah, I could see it playing before both movies too. One of the people was adamant that it's not going to play in front of Shazam, that they're trying to put different levels or marketing ideas to different parts of the what they're trying to build with this, and since it's just a standalone movie, that there's going to be like a big awards campaign built for Joker, so that'll be exciting. I mean, it certainly looked great. Looked like a really good movie. What did you think of the? I know you mentioned it earlier, but what did you think of the Quentin Tarantino movie trailer? I'm of the opinion maybe they were purposely not showing the best scenes from it yet, and they're just trying to put stuff out there that they've, you know, I think that there's going to be a lot of good scenes that probably weren't even shown in the trailer or in any way referred to or anything like that. Yeah. I really excited to see what oh yeah, it looks incredible. Really excited to see more obscure characters in some of the Marvel movies brought to life. Uh my experience in these Marvel comic book movies, or Marvel characters, I guess I should say, were basically firsthand experience from playing these Dungeons and Dragons style role playing game that I had. So I'd pick out kind of the more unique characters to be, like a guy named Shaman. You could be him, or you could be Box, or Puck, or Iceman, or Submariner. So I'd like to see all those characters created and put in movies and all that. So I mean, Peter Dinklage, he's the Marlon Brando of little actors, little people. So it'd be wonderful to see Peter Dinklage play one of those roles I just specified there. Well, only time will tell on that. Let me just push this down here so I can take a hit here. Hold on. Whew. got quite a little stream going. I see that Ben Hur is gonna be playing, I think, the 15th and the 19th or something like that. I don't know if I'll be able to get off on from work a week from Saturday, but if I do, I'm interested in going to this horse race. Actually, it's in Hot Springs, so I don't know, man. If you want to roll, it'd be kind of cool, or if anyone wants to roll. Um, I think the person I was gonna go with might have to work anyway. And I more than likely am going to have to work because I don't really like to ask off for any time because clearly, it's an event that's gonna be going on for many more years. But obviously, it's closer than the Kentucky Derby, so I'd like to try to go to Hot Springs and watch the Arkansas Derby, which is I think a week from Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll have to see how that goes. Oh man. Yeah, of all the action franchises, or all the franchises are like series of movies. Um, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's what's kind of shitty about art. I mean, art's great to be working and everything like that, but it's always difficult to know when and how not only the schedule is going to be, but also how busy it's going to be and what Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mean for uh, what am I trying to say? It's hard to figure out what's going to be going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in our own lives anyway. Let alone you know the possibility of having to work you know, potentially 33 hours over a weekend sometimes, like I did last weekend. It's pretty fucking crazy. It's really fun, but it's hard to plan other events and things like that. And usually, when on a day off, I had like 4 days off. I didn't really do much. Just kind of did whatever I needed to do with my dog, but I kind of enjoyed the fuck out of my time. And it's kind of how I want to do things as well too. Let's see, not doing a whole bunch. Yeah. Um, couple other movies. A franchise of movies that doesn't get much credit. There's some action in them, and mainly they're comedies. Though are the Fletch movies. Fletch one, and then it's not called Fletch two. The sequel, it's called Fletch Lives. Kind of a cool title. Um, Highly recommend those movies. Great action comedies. Some of the best of the era. Really fun, fun movie. The original Fletch. I believe 1985, so that's almost 35 years old at this point. So it definitely needs to get more attention through the years. There's a DVD made. The special features on it are pretty lousy, so I'd like to get some other company that you know wants to participate more. That'd be great. Um, yeah, dog, dog, you need to be quiet. I'm not doing anything right now. Yeah, Fletch and Fletch lives. They're. You can go in the other room and go lie down. Thank you. She's going down to another theater. But basically, the concept of Fletch is that he is undercover writing for a like a journalism magazine that breaks big stories and all this. So he's undercover, pretending he's a heroin addict all the time, hanging out on the beach and all this shit. It's hard to believe, but whatever. Then as things go on with it, it just um, him pretending that he's a heroin addict on the streets of Los Angeles, you know, he sticks out like a sore thumb, not because he doesn't fit in as it's because one person in particular sees him there, lazing around on the beach and all that, and starts thinking of like a malevolent plan of how he could take advantage of this quote unquote homeless guy and his circumstance and pay him a bunch of money to do what would you call it, to arrange for someone's death. So already it's a really interesting concept. Here you got a guy that's a journalist played by Chevy Chase working undercover, and no one really knows to the level or extent what his goal is. All we know is that this Fletch character has found himself in over his head and now needs to figure out, everyone from people in Utah to this person, that person, all across the country, how exactly it's a benefit, or how exactly basically this person coming up to him as he's becoming a heroin addict on the streets, proposing something that's kind of a larger than life scenario, and how Fletch still, a good journalist, but a journalist going through some personal problems, nonetheless, is going to be challenged by what Tim Matheson proposes. And in the process, he goes on all sorts of adventures, impersonating different people, wearing different costumes, and just having a blast of a movie. Almost every time that people see it, they get filled up with excitement for it, because step by step, one way or another, Fletch is going to the top, or whatever. That's one of them songs in it. And then another one, a bana 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 bana. That's one of the songs in it, and it keeps doing that over and over and over again until it's so stuck in your head. I swear to God, Fletch is a really good experience of a movie. You got Gina Davis in it in a small role. Uh, I'll leave it at that. I just think, some really, really good comedy in the movie. Maybe the first 5 or 6 times I saw the movie, I didn't really think it was like hilarious. But now I just think it's really fucking funny. Like, obviously, this guy went through wear all these costumes and things that he ended up doing, and it wouldn't be that kind of situation. But in this movie, oh man, it's just, yeah, it's a really good movie. Okay, let me look at the chat. Looks like Jesse might be busy here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I haven't done a commentary in a couple days, so I do get a lot of emails from people that, wanted to hear my opinions on various movies, so there we go. Oh yeah, and then they made a sequel too. So Fletch Lives, Fletch Lives is like, I don't know. Um, I guess it's kind of a little bit more politically incorrect these days than whatever. But Bruce Springsteen's wife at the time was in it, and boy, oh boy, was she hot. Boy, oh boy, was she hot. It is hot. I don't know if he's still married to her, but this broad, I'll tell you, man, she basically makes the movie at times. I think Cleavon Little is in the movie as well from the Blazing Saddles films. Not positive, not positive. But yeah, really beautiful actress, and in Fletch Lives, obviously. I mean, after the events of Fletch One, um, they come up with a really pretty memorable villain and whole story for part two. Joe Don Baker does a really good job though in part one, and several other of the actors, John P. Ryan, um, did a good job, and yeah, this is just an aside, but John P. Ryan did really good in Fatal Beauty, and he did pretty good in other movies as well. Really trying to get. I sadly lent out two DVDs to someone, and they haven't showed up for work in a long time now. So it's like really hard to get the DVDs back, and it's like pulling teeth and stuff like that. So it pisses me off. It really does piss me off. Because honestly, like, why would I collect DVDs and then loan them to someone? They say they're gonna bring them right back. I'm I'm collecting the DVDs for myself. I'm not. It ain't no collection for others. So, what were you saying there? Oh man. Oh yeah, they're great. I would recommend Memoirs of an Invisible Man too. That's just an awesome movie. Um, yeah, Chevy Chase is maligned these days, malingered. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, I'm in the same situation with these Blu-rays. Yeah, because I buy these Blu-rays for and these my DVDs for me, and what you pay a certain price, you have them. It doesn't mean that you have to then text someone about where the Blu-rays and DVDs are. And honestly, this individual is not feeling well and stuff, so I'm like having to check in and ask her, hey, individual that's not living up to your end of the bargain, uh, how are you doing? And like kind of put on a good face about stuff. Where really, I mean, I want my DVDs back. I'll just chill though. The reason I think about it though so much is there's this movie Fatal Beauty that it's on there. It's the director of Child's Play, Tom Holland, not the actor, but the director Tom Holland. He made Fright Night. He made a slew of really good movies. And I look at Fatal Beauty as kind of a um, sequel or prequel almost to Child's Play, because Brad Dourif, the original Chucky doll, Brad Dourif is just off the hook crazy in Fatal Beauty. And I would watch Fatal Beauty when I had it on my DVR all the time. I'm not even joking around. So like when I don't have it, I keep like almost wanting to look through and rifle through my DVDs, thinking like, damn, why didn't I just hide all the really dank ones when this freakazoid can? But yeah, it's just that is what it is, as they would say. Um, but yeah, I don't mean to jump around too much, but Memoirs of an Invisible Man, definitely an awesome movie. I don't know. I think I might have put a commentary out there for it, but I should do like a 40 or 30-minute review um on uh a real real good commentary for it, and more information to come forward more with Memoirs of an Invisible Man. One of the co-stars of that movie is Stephen Tobolowsky, of Memoirs of an Invisible Man. He was also in Groundhog Day. A lot of 90s movies mainly. So I interviewed him, and he shared some information on the making of Memoirs of an Invisible Man. That there's not a lot of fans of of that movie, right? So just waiting to make sure that if I even upload it all, it was worth the trouble and all that. So sorry. Sorry. Yeah, memoirs. Yeah, that's a really good one. You know what's funny about it though is it's really funny about it. You can verify this. Go ahead and check around other YouTube live stream movie discussion shows such as The Sausage Factory, Orc. He's got a number at the end of his name. I don't remember the number. B Movie Mike, a real good one. B as in like boy, and then movie Mike. Um, Jay the Stingray, a guy named Cole of a website or YouTube called Cole Talks Comics. All of them across the board, obviously huge John Carpenter fans, but they just are like pile on Memoirs of an Invisible Man about how bad it is and this and that. And it's literally like my favorite John Carpenter movie. So I have a hard time. I mean, they're obviously a lot of my friends, or they're friendly to me at least. These horror, you know, shows and things that I watch. I find that shocking that none of them like Memoirs of an Invisible Man, and I like that John Carpenter's got some restrictions put on him in that movie. And it's a tight thriller action movie, as is Village of the Damned. And man, what an impressive specimen that person is. Hold on one second here. All right, I haven't seen Eric since he left, but I messaged him. He left all of his expressions and be like, "Bet." I'd be like, this man, bet." Yeah, I really like the way he would pronounce stuff. He's cool. Inside joke out there. Thanks, man. Bet this man be like slacking. That's what he would say sometimes too. He was so cool, man. But anyway, I'm gonna drop in on him and check out some of his pizza or whatever. uh, yeah, man. I think I got home around 11 p.m. or so. From work. Yeah, I had to walk home. Slade and Chase, I think they got cut earlier than me. They looked like they were gonna go do something. I don't know what the fuck. Uh, but yeah, we got Slade about to be a father in a couple weeks, man. Very excited for young Slade. Uh, let's see here. Oh, Ma, we got Ma coming out in a couple weeks. Oh, so I haven't really talked to you about this. There was a big event in Las Vegas, and we should get invited. Yeah, Slade, man, Slade. Me and Slade, man, we get along pretty good because we started within a couple days of each other. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 days in front of him, and I like when I work alongside with him, and I like people like that in that little area that we were hired around the same time. Um, so hopefully we can all stay on there and hopefully move up because we got to get to this thing, bro. This cinema convention. It looks so awesome. It's in Las Vegas right now, and my friend's staying at the Caesar's Palace. I used to stay there all the time, and it's fucking beautiful, dude. Like, and going to Las Vegas free, or as part of a business trip or something like that. That's an ideal situation to go there. That's why the town is built. It's built for conventions and things like that. So Disney presented 14 minutes of The Lion King today. I'll give you a rundown on all the news. Yesterday, Warner Brothers revealed their Joker trailer, and then we were able to watch it today. But they revealed it last night. They also showed part of Shining 2. So basically, someone from each chain, maybe many people from each movie theater chain, go to Las Vegas and just stay there for like 6-7 days, covering all these events. It's pretty fucking classic, I mean, every one of these studios is there presenting. Now there's Fox and Disney doing all one presentation because of the merger. So that's the first big result of all this. Is it's kind of going to be a trip, but basically every poster is going to have a Fox. I don't think that's going to last. Uh, just cursory look at how that situation is. It's just, I don't think that's going to work out. They're going to get ripped right out of there because, yeah. No, thought I saw another message. Sorry. Slade, yeah. And then we got a bunch of other people, man. There are a bunch of them are graduating high school in the next couple weeks. Total trip, man. When they say that, sometimes I think they're joking. A lot of them seem a lot older. But hey, congratulations to them. Good times for sure. Oh man, what are the biggest movie theaters you've been to, man? Because I enjoy being at this theater. It is pretty large in terms of the amount of area that's covered in it, but like when I grew up, there was okay, I grew in this town, Rancho Cucamonga. I mean, I would be in LA quite a lot too, because different households and things like that. But mainly in this town, a little bit Rancho Cucamonga. And back in the day, they didn't have theaters, so we'd have to go down to this street called Holt, and this is an area where there'd be like prostitutes rocking around and shit. So as a kid, we'd be like, "Oh shit," like they'd be telling us, "Oh yeah, don't look out the window. There's working girls out there," and like that's what they would tell us, like our parents or whatever. So there'd be working girls walking around the block, like all times of day and night. In the '80s, in this ghetto ass area in Montclair, because we'd have to go a couple towns over. So we go to Montclair, and they got basically a building. Imagine the Trio, but maybe like two more theaters. So a fiveplex. I'm pretty sure it was a fiveplex, and it was called the Holt Theater. And that's one of the main memories I have in my life is going to that Holt Theater. Because it literally was the first theater I would go to regularly. So I thought that'd be cool to just discuss.
what are some of your favorite movie theaters you've gone to? Did you go to this did you go to the local ones primarily growing up? Because, clearly I grew up going to all sorts of different theaters. And the more I'm thinking about the theatrical experience, more I'm trying to go over and think which theaters I like the most and all this. So, by the time I was like 10 years old, there was a bunch of theaters. There was the Upland 8, which was this kind of blue and it kind of looked like a Miami Vice looking lighting and all that. Pretty dang cool theater. And then there was the Rancho Cucamonga Victoria Gardens, Rancho Cucamonga Terra Vista. And then there is a couple other little ones. And then when I was like 15 or 16, these motherfuckers went crazy. AMC put a 30-plex in, like 30 theaters. Imagine that, dude. And then across the parking lot, like literally across the parking lot, like from Dillard's to where we are, there was a 22-plex, which had IMAX, like 2 IMAX screens. So it became kind of an embarrassment of riches at a point, from going where you had to go several towns over to where they just literally started building the shit out of it. So I have a lot of memories of going. I think the Razorback Theater in Fayetteville is a little bit bigger than the 16. That's probably the biggest I've been to. Not been to many theaters. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Been to one that's bigger than the 30, and I don't think I have. I was living in Israel clearly before, and they have probably my favorite theater. I think there's one called Cinema City there, and you're like walking around, and they have just props from movies everywhere. Like it'll be like a full alien, like instead of those standees and things that we have, they got basically full on alien statue, or Charlie Chaplin, or whatever the fuck. Just all these people in movie history, like mannequins of them or wax figures of them, however the fuck they're doing it. And then the theaters are just dank. I don't know, man. It's a really, really, really good place. Cinema City in Hasharon, I believe it's called. Yeah, man. I really, I really need to figure out how to get people to, other people to go visit that country, because it's got some really good positive things about it, especially as far as movie going. Israel loves movies, and they actually get a lot of movies that play in America sometimes days or weeks before we get them here. So that's kind of a trip when that stuff's happening more and more these days, that outside of the United States movies are getting first, and then we get them like a full day later sometimes. It's kind of a trip. Take a hit here. So I'm watching Arlington Road, and it's getting towards the conclusion of it, and it's definitely a very, like, I don't know, bro. You see it, and you ever get to the ending of it and stuff, and tell me if you saw it coming, I guess. But it's a little trip. Oh, what are some of your favorite Jeff Bridges movies? I know you just did a chat there, so I'm gonna go press the button here. Yeah, it was totally awesome, man. Cinema City. I'll be honest, I used to sneak into these theaters, or not ours, but like every theater I used to go to growing up, I just figure out ways to get in. and I wasn't that much younger in Israel, so it was, I don't know. That theater was a little tougher to get into, but then once you're in the theater, you could basically stay all day. That's what goes on when there's more than 16 theaters in a thing. When there's like 22 or 30, they literally don't know who the fuck's walking around. I mean, it's hard to tell at a certain point, because when it's 8 and 8 or 7 and 9 on each side, literally there's only 7 or 9 little portals and people going into them. But when there's, let me tell you how this one was broken up. Okay, it was an AMC. You walked in. There's 6 in the main lobby. You know, it's a 30-plex. So then there's 12 down one hall, and it's all spread out. It looks like a spaceship. This AMC I'd be going to. Man, I'm telling you, you could literally spend all day at the AMC I grew up at and not even see every movie that you want to watch, and no one even see you the whole day and stop you, which is just totally weird. I mean, they grew beyond full, they grew so fast, movie theaters in the mid 90s, 2000s, that they still have never figured out a way to, get every theater and maximize like what's playing where and stuff like that. But bet, let's see this one. Oh yeah, Big Lebowski's so awesome, dude. I got a story about that. Hold on. All right, well, Big Lebowski. Have to rotate the device. Oh, so cool. Yeah, we're talking about Jeff Bridges again. Um, yeah, Big Lebowski is just awesome. Last Picture Show is totally cool, and then you won't believe this, dude. There's a sequel to Last Picture Show. That's right. There's a sequel to Last Picture Show called Texasville. It came out when I was like 10 years old, so way after Last Picture Show, and it's made in color. So that kind of tells you about all that. So that's Texasville. It's sequel to Last Picture Show. He's such a great actor in Last Picture Show, and so many of these performances. I'm a huge fan of the Bridges family. Um, if you like Big Lebowski, so want to see something that's like the complete polar opposite of him doing that, would be Fabulous Baker Boys. Fabulous Baker Boys stars him and his brother, and then Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's pretty much the most dank you can get. It's a really good independent, or really good drama from the late 80s, maybe early 90s. No, late 80s. They came out in 89. And Michelle Pfeiffer, many people think she should have won the Oscar that year, but the lady that won was Jessica Tandy for Red Miss Daisy, kind of a classic movie as well. So even though I'm a huge fan of hers, it's kind of hard for me to say Pfeiffer should have won over her. But it would have changed Michelle Pfeiffer's career, but she still had a wonderful, pretty damn good career. Anyway, well, I highly recommend Fabulous Baker Boys. Big Lebowski, I mean, what can I say about that, man? It's just, um, I bowled that alley. I have memories of going to that alley, that bowling alley. I have memories of being in the areas that movie's filmed. Seeing that movie when I saw it, and still kind of going to those places. It's kind of a trip, actually. And my mom, having grown up in that area too, she actually saw it with me, and she, it tripped her out as well. Um, so yeah, like Big Lebowski and Inherent Vice are, I guess, one is more on the nose, like as far as what it's trying to be, more of a satire of, those detective kind of novels or noir type things. Kind of like that's what Big Lebowski's doing. Where Inherent Vice is more a very deep and convoluted uh, attempt at the same thing. And I love the movie. I mean, it's a very more um, less funny or less trying to be like on the nose about it. I think Big Lebowski is just incredible. Sam Elliott's performance in it, I mean, just totally incredible. So yeah, that leads into a little story about Big Lebowski. This must have been right when, okay, in Los Angeles, the Lakers used to play in the Great Western Forum, and um, this was 1997 because the movie came out. Okay, I'm losing track of how old I was or whatever, but um, I went to a Laker game once when I was 11, and I asked Sam Elliott for his autograph, and he just like kind of ignored me. So then I had a fake ID when I was like 12 or 13. So by the time I'm like 15 or 16, I'm pretty fucking confident with my fake ID. I mean, no one fucked with me when I was 12 and 13 with a fake ID. But I'm in the kind of mode where I can go up and talk shit, like, and not give a fuck. And, being 15 or 16, being at bars and being around fucking famous ass celebrities, it's kind of a weird situation, to say the least. Um, so out of the corner of my eye, you, you can go into different parts of the Great Western Forum and drink. There was a, I can't remember the name of the club, but it was a elite fucking club that had Jack Nicholson in it. And I don't know what was going on, but Jack Nicholson was in his own private area of this club, so I couldn't get to him. Sam Elliott, I see out of the corner of my eye. I know I'm not even like, if Jack Nicholson was there, I probably wouldn't even say it. I would just probably been like, what the fuck? My mind would have been blown. Dude, I have, like, unless he wants to talk to me, I mean, I have more respect for him than almost anyways. Make an hour, 50-hour video on Jack Nicholson right now. So yeah, I mean, there's certain levels of fame in this world, and that's he's just such a fucking badass. It's unbelievable. Um, then Sam Elliott out of the corner of my eye, and it always bothered me that the motherfucker didn't give me no autograph. And I love Sam Elliott, right? I mean, he's in Fatal Beauty. He's in all my movies I love. So I go up to Sam Elliott and be like, I give him my autograph. That's what I gave him my autograph. He's like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's I asked you for your autograph like 5 years ago, and you didn't um, do anything. So I took your silence as a 5 year culmination of you wanting my autograph. So I hope that you enjoy having my autograph. I don't know if he still has my autograph, but he took it. And then he kind of made light. He knew I was joking around. So we just started talking, and then we just started talking about, some of his performances in different movies. I hadn't even seen all of his movies back then. So it was a pretty cool little conversation, but I think it was pretty ridiculous of me to go up there and be like, oh yeah, you didn't give me your autograph 5 years ago. Here's my autograph. But it was funny. I mean, no one even dared me to do it either. It was just like, I want to go talk some shit to Sam Elliott. But I love him. I mean, if I could do the same thing now, I would do the same thing now. And I would talk to him 15, 20, 30 minutes about his career and his entirely impressive career resume. I mean, from movies like Shakedown to, obviously A Star Is Born, Fatal Beauty, a really good movie called Lifeguard. But yeah, it was right around the time that he was actually doing. The reason I brought it all up was about Big Lebowski. It was right around the time where he was actually doing a lot of the voiceover work for that movie, because a lot of it is voiceover. It's him in the movie and then also voiceover. So he said, he was just um, enjoying the game and everything, but he couldn't really yell or talk to that loud. All right, let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to press these buttons to get this chat on here. Love sounds awesome. Oh, okay. Where the fuck is it? It goes here. Oh, so cool. It was in theater 7. That's so cool. Yeah, it's really good projection in there. I wanted to bring something to your attention. Just do it real quick. Ah, fuck. It keeps popping off. Chat. Okay. Yeah, all the visuals and everything in it just much better to see on a really big screen. I think I saw that at the Terra Vista. It was on a it was on a big screen. I really like that theater at Terra Vista. It's 2,000 miles from here, but it's a really nice theater. So it was pretty cordial. And he's married to the woman from The Graduate, that old movie. Her name's Catherine Ross. I think she's at least like 4 or 5 years older than him, so they've been married a long time. But yeah, I definitely have met my fair share of like pretty fucking famous celebrities. He's probably not even one of them up there, but you know, I think some of the best parts of Big Lebowski are really. I really like Steve Buscemi in it quite a lot. I really like Tara Reid. It's kind of a gimmicky little part for her, but thought she did pretty well with it. Philip Seymour Hoffman did pretty well with it. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I do think they're planning something. If I had to say, don't you think that they're gonna make a sequel? I think that that's somewhat likely at this point. I mean, sequels to everything getting made. They're already going in character to different events and things like that, Comic Cons or whatever. Um, you know, they aren't exactly, it's not like it's not having integrity or anything like that, but like John Goodman, I mean, obviously he's still making a show without Roseanne that was with Roseanne. So he ain't gonna do too much that's gonna get in the way of the paycheck at times. So I love my man John Goodman. Don't get me wrong. He's fucking awesome. Best actors. Here's a great one to recommend for you about John Goodman, man. Check out King Ralph. You can look it up, man. King Ralph. Really a fucking cool movie, dude. Like the opening scene of it, the entire royal family, something happens and everything, so they need to find a new heir. And then they figure out that John Goodman is, a relative to the royal family, so he becomes king. Yeah, I think they probably might actually, because you think about it, Jesse. Um, he's had some hits in these recent years, Jeff Bridges, but he's still known as the dude. So it's like, even though he's won an Oscar, even though this and that, whatever, people are still harking back to him as the dude. And John Goodman They'll hit a fucking paycheck movie here or there, whatever. And that's what this movie would be, man. You take back that role again, shit, man. No one's gonna get recast. No one's gonna do a Walter prequel. No one even wants to fuck with John Goodman's interpretation of that character. So we got someone else in the chat here. Person out there, why don't you identify yourself in the chat? Hope you're having a good day or evening wherever you are. And if you're not part of the chat, that's fine as well. It was 2 people on the chat just now, but now 1 person left as I was welcoming them. That's odd. I don't know if it's a glitch or something of that something of that kind. Oh my gosh. So I really like baseball quite a lot. Something about me on the Barbecue Network. It's mainly going to be movies and entertainment. But I don't follow real baseball that much. When I say I'm into baseball, I've created a baseball league of my own. There's a league of their own. There's a league of my own making. I created every player. Just one day in 2001, I was just sitting around Las Vegas in my house and thinking like, damn, I think I can create the identities of the entire baseball league that's kind of rattling around in my head because I had written a screenplay about a baseball player, and then all of a sudden I was like, damn, there's other franchises too, and like within 4 or 5 hours, I just had written out every team's story, their whole history. It's pretty crazy. I gotta be honest. I've never done anything where you can really feel like, I don't know, something pulling you to create something. So then once I created it, I had a lot of opportunity with what I could do with it. I could, a 24 team league with all this different artificial intelligence and, real life player attributes readapted to be a hand drawn simulator game, which is what I did for a little while, and I can still hand draw simulate these games, which is basically with pen and paper. People can just basically entertain themselves by coming up with this system of how the game works. And at a certain point, I decided, it's great doing my little hand-drawn system of these games, but or not, but like let's do it in conjunction, ideally, with this kind of massive simulation system called Stratomatic Baseball, where you can actually reprogram, the data that I was just talking about. So basically, all the time, I'm always doing stuff. I'm always queuing up the old computer I have to. They're clowning around over there. You distracted me. And yeah, that was my thought about that. So I really do like sports. I don't really watch them too much anymore. I just find them to be really annoying. Like, not necessarily the games that are annoying sometimes too. But so that's the combination that's deadly, is when the announcers are so annoying, the commercials are so annoying, the people at the game and all the yelling and screaming and carrying on, that's annoying. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that. So you doing the, oh, you got all that. I was just talking to my dog. She's walking around in the other room. New York got the second out of the inning, for instance, here. Pretty close game. So 1-1. I went to a UFAS game. Yeah, I don't really. I went to a UFAS baseball game the other day just to check it out. Didn't really like how there's like this like element of the you know, I don't know what public safety people there. Uh, they're annoying. You know, like the campus police. Like they need to back the fuck off. I'm just trying to sit there and chill, and they almost were starting to bother me and shit. So that's a little annoying about the town sometimes. Is like the people are kind of closed minded at times. What Yeah, baseball, man. That's cool, man. Second grade. I played I don't know, I played some sports growing up. I started getting really good at sports or just being like a bigger person. Uh Towards like the later part of high school, which is ironic because I wasn't really even into any of that shit. Once I became kind of better than the other people around me, it was a different dynamic because they all thought they were like really good or whatever, and then I was actually not even trying and pretty good, and then ended up going and playing like my first year. Um, like my only real year I went to college, I played, um, but it was a pretty different experience. I was pretty much not qualified to be playing college football or anything like that. So, you get not necessarily cut from the team, but they just are telling you that you can't stay in school because, you know, the scholarships are 1 year renewable and all this shit. So I was like, oh, fuck, I have to like go back to my town where I'm from because I can't play football good enough for you fuckers. So yeah, it's pretty funny how that shit works sometimes. And it was pretty expensive to if I would just stay there and pay for everything. What I could do, go rob a bank or something, So I could feel bad for people that don't get the financial aid they need. Because I actually probably, would be cool if everyone gets something that someone like him should be get over. Someone, uh, something like that. Um, but boom. Oh, I saw Daniel, the little usher, not too far back. Heavier set Daniel. Um, a week or two ago. Been meaning to try to see him in public more, but I don't see him. Uh, you know, the store or anything like that. I just seen it. You know, he was going to a movie not too far back. Bam, 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 bam. Huh. Oh yeah, you saw him maybe a week ago. Cool, man. Yeah, man, he seemed cool. Seemed like a cool guy to hang out with or something sometime. Um, but I think he was only there maybe that first 2 weeks or so, something like that. Oh man. Yeah, Swordfish was quite a cool movie. I did a commentary for that one. I don't know. There's so many. When I really start thinking about it, quite fortunate to be like young when I was and see. Yeah, I guess from like the '80s to the early 2000s, action movies were just really fun and just kind of crazy and fucking uh, you know dinosaurs in San Diego, Lost in World, crazy shit like that going on. And then you got Swordfish, where John Travolta's trying to blow up a bunch of terrorists so he can get money so he can stop a bunch of terrorists so they don't blow up more people. I mean, crazy fucking movies. They seem to come up with really good gimmicks. Gone in 60 Seconds. I know that was a remake, but the way that that energy was put into that movie, where this dude's got to rob all these cars, in a certain time period. Shit movies, these movies have really cool gimmicks to them. When you think about Face Off, these two men are going to switch faces and identities to better chase each other down and whatever. That's pretty fucking crazy. Like there's no other movie that has any other plot like that. Anyway, especially not an action one. There's one that has some very dark stuff. Called, oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it right this second. But yeah, I mean that's just then you got movies that didn't do well. Last Action Hero, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Interested to rewatch that one actually because I hear all these people really talking it up. Oh, it's so underrated. Oh, this and that. I really would like to find out for myself again. I haven't seen that one in a while. Cliffhanger, which I described earlier. Demolition Man, which I've described. Um, yeah, I mean, action and action thrillers, man. Just great to see how they've evolved through the years. There are still a couple good examples here or there, but the most part, you know, it's not like that. Let me just get my drink real quick here. Yeah, mostly now you got these action movies that are, based on real events, like a Hotel Mumbai, and they're trying to dramatize and make it an action movie almost. Or we get these shitty remakes, like, I mean, I don't know if Death Wish the remake was good or not, but certainly didn't seem like a very fun movie. Another one of these movies I'm talking about that's just like a balls to the wall action movie is The Last Boy Scout. And that's a really, really, really good movie. And it's like got some deep meaning to it too. It's got Danielle Harris, who's in, Halloween 4, and she's in uh all sorts of movies. Don't Tell Them the Babysitter's Dead, the Rob Zombie's Halloween. Um, Totally just an incredible achievement. I, the Last Boy Scout. It's a movie that kind of grows on you. When I first saw it in theaters years back, I loved it, and I didn't see it again until like, gosh, what is it year now? It's 1991 when it came out. I believe it came out in December of 1991, and it just flopped. I have no idea why they released this movie in theaters on December of 1991. It was only playing in one theater that opening night. I saw it at the Rancho Cucamonga, Virginia Dare 6. And oh my gosh, man, I think the audience didn't even know what they were watching either. And it was actually pretty crowded, but overall, that movie really probably made like 25 or 30 million, and it cost at least 50 or 60. And it's Tony Scott, the great director Tony Scott, and it stars Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. And Damon Wayans, I mean, obviously it's a buddy cop movie. You got those two guys cast. But I thought that everyone did a really good job in the film, and there's some real madcap stuff that goes on in it, so you got to forgive it at times. But yeah, it's a really cool movie. I can just tell you the story real quick. It's basically Damon Wayans plays a football player who's got a drug problem, and he's being suspended. And during when that happens, his girlfriend, played by Halle Berry, gets killed, and then he doesn't really trust, that you know, why she was killed and all that. So then they start piecing together the thing. All of a sudden, you know, Bruce Willis realizes his wife's having an affair, and instead of, you know, having an issue with um, the guy is actually just like taken out of the picture. So yeah, it's a really really good movie. And one that, you know, I don't really hear anyone talk about too much, like at all. And if they do bring it up, they don't really have anything positive too much to say about it, except some of the more silly elements that are in it, which really make it quite a fun movie for sure. Just a second here. Hold on. Just a second here. Have you been to Patrick's Burgers? Come on up on the couch, Curly. Come on up on the couch. I'm going outside right now. Come on up on the couch. Curly, come up on the couch. Right now. Curly, come up on the couch. Curly, come up on the couch. You heard me the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time. I said, come up on the couch. Oh, yeah. He was watching Captain Marvel. Exactly. Come on the couch right now, Bubba. I'm on video. I'm not going outside right now. Sometimes my dog wants to go outside in the middle of the night. I don't think that's a good idea. Especially, you know, it's not safe outside sometimes. Just lie down. 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 Thank you. You're so cute. What a good dog. What a good dog. I'll probably put on a movie and chill in a minute. You have a Blu-ray player. That's cool. I got one too. What are some of your favorite Blu-rays, man? I think that one of the ones I really like is the Mummy set. I got Mummy 1, 2, and 3. I'm really into those movies. Okay, cool. Yeah, me too, man. Let me read the final thing here.
All right, let me see there. Well, man, I've enjoyed the broadcast and get some sleep. We'll tune in next time. Hope you. Oh, cool, man. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. I was dozing a little bit too. Well, man, hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, man, I got a little collection. Pretty cool, man. I got a good collection here too. Really excited. Hope you have a great night, bud. Dog's gonna lie down here. Let's see how she's doing now.
Say bye, curly girl.
All right, she's gonna pass out. All right, bud. You have a wonderful night. Thanks again for tuning in, and welcome back to the Barbecue Network.